One of the toughest careers on the planet is being a real estate agent. No other industry has an 80% failure rate after the first 2 years. Competition is fierce and expenses are high. There's a good chance of going bankrupt in this business, but there's a small percentage of salespeople that earn more money than you could ever imagine. Anyone that's successful in sales has systems and unique approaches that allow them to stand out, get attention, and attract more clients than ever before. When I come to their town and completely revamp their entire operation, they find out what being a top producer is all about. Income starts rolling in, and they can finally pay off all their debts to build a real net worth for themselves. Most real estate agents struggle during the first part of their career, but later they get the help that they need for an immediate turnaround. And that's exactly what we do right here on Greg Luther's Real Estate Rescue. All right, so today we are in the state of Michigan for this episode of Greg Luther's Real Estate Rescue. We're meeting with a gentleman named Troy, who's been a real estate agent up here for quite a while. He's doing okay, but he's certainly in need of a rescue to massively grow his real estate business. We've got an idea today. He wants to work with baby boomers. So we're talking about people born between 1946 and 1964. They're empty nesters. They've got a lot of money. Some of them are downsizing. Most of them are paying cash. So today, you're going to get to see, are we going to go with that niche? Are we going to use that as one of multiple niches for him to market to and to start picking up a lot more business? And you're going to see how we can explode somebody's income by simply getting a new system in place. Join us today on Greg Luther's Real Estate Rescue in the state of Michigan. We'll see you soon.
Hey, I'm Troy Cordes. My logo name is Troy Sells Michigan. So I'm from Michigan here, a little small town called Lapeer, Davison / north of Detroit, about an hour. Basically born and raised here, and that's where I reside to build my real estate business. Well, Greg's coming today, and I'm kind of quite a bit nervous, even though I met him a handful of times at the retreats and stuff like that. Taking this on kind of like is like having a mentor in your back pocket that's going to expect some things out of you more than just the normal, but yeah, I'm going to go do it. Being on TV or being on recording is a different process than just saying, yeah, I think I can do that on a Zoom call or whatever. So, it's going to be interesting. It's going to stretch me as an individual. It's going to make me do things that I don't want to do, but I know that I need to do. So that's what I'm excited about. So growing the business, and really want to show that in the world of the real estate empire that Greg has created of his business, I want to show people that it does work. So I'm excited for him too. Helping them downsize and the baby boomers thing. I'm really excited about helping those people. I already have a team set up. I already have an auction type setting where people can just do online sales right in their house, where they got to liquidate stuff. So the baby boomer thing is really where I focus on, and I do a lot of off market. I really enjoy the off market because, be honest with you, I like being the cut of the regular realtor going out saying I can do this for you, doing that for you. I really enjoy the off market. I take off market buyers to off market sellers, put them together. It is a process. It's a little bit different process, but I enjoy the heck out of that.
All right, so I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and sit down and kind of talk about some ideas and what we want to put together today. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, so tell me a little bit about kind of what business looks like now, the market you're in, the price range, the average price range we see, and how's business going for you?
So we live in a very unique, I wouldn't say unique, we live in an area that just 35, 40 minutes south of us, it's a very highly more populated area than we have here.
Okay.
So to get the numbers to where you want to be, where you can make some good money, you got to drive a little bit here.
Yeah.
There is a good little market around here, but you're not going to do as well as further south.
Okay. So you're driving 45 minutes to get to the better price ranges.
30, yeah, I go up to an hour. And if I go to an hour, we're talking medium price range at $850.
Okay.
Here where it's at like 150, 175, 200.
Wow,
right?
huge difference.
Huge difference.
Okay.
So, but as you go further south, it goes like 180, and it goes 230, and then it goes 400, then it goes 600, and then you're getting that little pocket of the Birmingham and Bloomfield Hills area, which is
well, let me just move there.
Yeah, I know.
Next, right?
Be simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long have you been licensed?
I've been licensed since 2012.
Okay, very good.
So,
And what's the best year you've had, the worst year you've had, just over the last 5-6 years? What kind of numbers are we looking at?
it's been pretty much steady, honestly, between I make between 90 in the real estate, 90 to do like 150,000 on average. But I in the backside, I've been in the housing industry my whole life. So as in construction, excavating, landscaping, stuff like that. So I pick up a lot of like flips. So we've done a lot of flips over the years. So
Okay.
like last year, I did like 120 in real estate, but I did another 90,000 in flips.
Okay.
So it's not a great income, but it's an income. So.
Yeah. So Meredith, tell me a little bit about your role. You have to keep that entrepreneurial spirit down for him so he doesn't have shiny objects, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
That shiny object syndrome. We try to stay focused on what we're doing. I'm just a sidekick,
Yeah.
so
Whatever you guys are working on.
Safe he calls with a wife, though. Right.
Yeah.
So all the positions. I'm licensed, and so if he's in one spot and needs me to show a house for him, I can show it.
Okay.
I'm a little bit familiar. I'm a lot familiar with Alibis transactions and stuff that he has going on. I proofread stuff. I come up with ideas, help him with
Okay.
marketing.
Quality control.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. And then what did the last 12 months look like for you, total revenue?
So we did like 120,000 income. So
120.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what's our goal? Say over the next 12 months, what kind of income are you looking for?
I like to double, triple that, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I mean, we can set the bar like here. It's always good to set the bar high,
Yeah.
but realistically, in me, and what to stay focused and to be doing one thing is tough for me.
Yeah.
So, so for me to change that, and that's what I'm excited about.
Now, Troy earns between 90 and 120,000 a year, and that's his gross number as a real estate agent. He's looking to double or triple that number, and frankly, that's probably not going to be enough to reach his long-term goals. I don't really do a lot of consulting for those that are just looking to double their business because frankly, for an awful lot of people, that's not going to be enough. We're looking to do something much bigger. This is going to be a fun ride today, and I'm going to show you exactly how we break down step by step quadrupling or even bigger when it comes to growing your real estate business. Let's dive right in. Yeah.
Is this relationship with you and I saying, hey, let's make this happen. So,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask is it seems like there are some distractions out there because that's fun, whether it's flipping a house
yep.
or you have some kind of heavy machinery excavation or what is that you do? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've been as a contractor, I've been in the trades my whole life. So, like I built like 4 pole barns last year, and
Oh,
that was an extra, 70,000 last year.
are you doing the work too?
Well, we do some of it. We subcontract it out.
Okay.
It pops in. It's like, to be honest with you, I've been so broke at one time in my life that I did anything I could
Sure.
to make it.
Yeah.
So when something pops up, I don't want to go broke again.
Yeah.
So I'm always saying, no, you can't turn it down because you're just saying no.
Yeah.
It's hard to say no because when you're eating ramen noodles and you're feeding 4 kids with ramen noodles,
Right.
it changes your brain, and you live a life of being more scared of failure than in success. But you're scared of success too because success is like, oh my gosh, if I get there, I'm gonna crash.
Yeah.
It's a weird situation. It's a mental thing, and I think as you get older, you become wiser, but you also become more timid because what got you wiser was all the failures.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So at that point, but you just gotta kind of like, I think you just gotta like just. Reason why I'm here is because or her, she believes in me,
Mhm.
and I'm excited about it. So,
Awesome.
but yeah.
Now, after coaching tens of thousands of real estate agents, I found that an awful lot of them have some previous history that's kind of stuck in their head. It gets in their way, and it gets in their way of taking the right actions every day as well. Those things in their mind can cause positive or negative results, but the key is to identify what it is so you know how to navigate it moving forward. A lot of times, sitting in a consulting meeting, someone can find out what's hanging you up there so you can identify it, make those changes you need to make, and then create better actions for yourself moving forward. What would you guys prefer? Do you want to keep dabbling in other things, or if you could get this all going, say you got to 400,000 in income, is that something you would do full time and say I'm not doing the other stuff, or I would delegate the other stuff, or
He dabbled, but it's like a little kid with a Tonka truck.
yeah,
Like that. He just loves to run heavy equipment. So I
yeah,
feel like even if we made 400,000, you'd be like, woo, they need a septic field.
yeah, yeah,
Or it is terrible. I mean, they got videos of me driving around the backyard with my tractor, moving there. I mean, you go back there. I got brick pavers back there. I got dump trucks there. Yeah, it's terrible. It's
hobby. Like,
it's
you could just
but
guide your head.
to be honest with you, I mean, I see things in the future of like, I understand it, and if I had more understanding of it, I can more dictate more of it, and I can make more money with it.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's like you do it because you need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know when I'm pulling when I'm pulling out of the real estate, it's like I got a fixed number in my head. I'm not working for less than this because I got to make this because I'm losing my real estate business over here. I'm losing money here, so I got to be making good money here. So I'm pretty choosy on what I pick up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If it's not good, because I know what bad is because I've been there. If it's not good, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a distraction too. Just be straight up with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like if you're spending time on business, you're not spending time with family. If you're spending time with family, you're not with business. Well, it's the same way with multiple businesses. If I'm spending time building a pole barn, I can't sell real estate. A big one, which you guys said you flipped some properties. I've met with a lot of agents that say, I only make 10 grand when I'm the agent, but I can make 35,000 while I'm flipping. Well, yeah, but the time you're spending swinging the hammer or meeting a contractor or his truck broke down, so now I got to go meet him tomorrow or whatever, you probably could have sold 6 houses in the
Absolutely.
time you were flipping that.
Absolutely.
So, we may want to look at, and we'll kind of see as we get the blueprint together today, we may want to look at keeping that excitement going that you've got a lot of irons in the fire, but not necessarily doing the work. So what if you put up the money and you can go into a rehab and say, okay, I need to do this and this and this, but you have somebody else do it and we split the
Yeah.
profits because you're only going to get 50% of what you would have made, but you're going to sell 7 houses over here in the meantime.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it lets you keep doing it. Obviously a lot of folks know I have the racehorses. It's crazy for me to clean stalls every day. What I want to do is pay other people to do that. And then once a week, I can go in and look around and pet them and tell somebody to do something and be involved, but then get back to doing
Yep.
the real stuff. So, that you may get to that point and it would certainly be more profitable if you're building barns, if you're moving dirt, if you're doing whatever it is, maybe run a business on the side. There's two of you. So run a business on the side. And occasionally you go out there and do a little bit of work, but everybody else is responsible because now you've gotten your time back. So I know as a real estate agent, you will make more money than you will on any tractor.
I agree.
So get somebody else to move that thing and you tell them how to move the tractor while you're selling real estate. You've bought your time back
Yep.
by paying them, even if it's 40, 50, $70,000.
Yep.
You've bought your time back to do the things that are more profitable
Yep.
for you. And then you've got more revenue to invest in more properties, to do whatever. I mean, it's all a how profitable can we be so we can deploy those assets for other investments. The money that we make, now we can go get 3 flips and we've got a team that's doing all that. If you do want to do the
Yeah.
flips. I hate doing them.
Yeah.
I know this is a good state for doing them. The numbers make sense and you could even acquire rentals if you wanted to, but it's so profitable to just sell 15 more houses for the
It
year.
is.
So but again, you don't want that boring, mundane, doing the same stuff. You got to have a little bit of variety.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people have some sort of hobby. And your hobby happens to be something you're interested in, you've done your whole life, but you can make money even if someone else is doing 80, 90% of the work. So, maybe we'll look at that. And again, if we can get the real estate business profitable enough, it allows you to look at that as more of a little side thing we're doing that we pull 100 grand a year from. And, we're using our money to do that. So it's important to have hobbies and interests. And frankly, a lot of real estate agents do, but you don't want to mistakenly think that that should be your primary mode of income. You don't want to make that your primary job. There's nothing more profitable than real estate sales. And a lot of those hobbies or interests can really be a distraction from you making the kind of money that you want to make. Make sure you're keeping your hobbies and your actual career completely separate, even if that hobby can make you some money.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited. That's why I was excited about, meeting you, Greg, at the first time, 4 years ago or whatever, was the systematizing of the back end,
Mhm.
being more systematic. And I understand. I mean, look at McDonald's. The reason why McDonald's is successful
Yeah.
is because of the system. It's not because of the guy flipping the burgers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're taking a
You
very
don't even have to read. You just need to know what a pickle looks like. No pickle.
exactly. So, and I love to have a system that easy, pickle.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I got so excited about when when I met you and 4 years ago and I saw what you done and I've implemented pieces of what of what we've done there. But that's what I'm excited about.
Okay. And then you guys are going through some transitions too, because the kids are growing up.
Yeah.
They're all starting to go out on their own and blossom. So you may be the empty nester, baby boomer type here pretty soon. Yeah.
My gray hair
Um,
fits in with them really well.
You're the life, you're like me, right? But that's a transition for you guys, and it's going to give you more time that you need to feel productive and somehow helping others. If you're not helping the kids, let's help the clients.
Yep.
Let's do what we can that way. So it's really good timing for you guys
It
to
is a
get
good
serious about real
Yeah,
estate
it
and
is.
really go big. And so then kind of future pacing where you're at. What would you guys envision? Do you want to just do this on your own as a couple? Do you want to maybe bring on an agent if it gets big enough or give you more time? Because, one of the downfalls of real estate is you're kind of working 364 days a year. It's hard to take a vacation because it's going to cost you a lot of money if you don't have boots on the ground. It's not the cost of the vacation, it's the cost of the lost opportunity while you're gone. Do you want to do it that way and just have enough revenue you can afford to walk away for 2 weeks or whatever? Or do you prefer to build some sort of team or?
I love helping people. I love helping people become successful. I love helping people get their dreams. I love seeing that is my goal. I love seeing people's victories.
Mhm.
And if I can help someone get their victory or get what they want out of life, that is more than any dollar to me. So, and I probably lose a lot of real estate deals because I'm like, I love helping people.
Yeah.
I just love doing it. And so, like I have back in my head, I have some people that, they want to join the team, but I don't have business to join the team.
Right.
Do I want to help them? Yeah. Would they be a great asset? Absolutely.
Mhm.
I think I'm really good at delegating and telling people to do.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really good at that. So, I think if we got to that point, absolutely. And if I could, shoot the vision of where we're going to go and build a team of everybody kind of trucking along here, absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
love that.
How about 5 years from now? What do we want to look like? Are we full time in real estate? Are we starting to slow down? What do you want
Um,
to paint here today?
I'm a worker.
Okay.
And I like to work. I don't want to retire. I'm not interested in retirement.
But it'd be nice
Is she going to agree? I was going to say, I see her kind of giving him the side eye.
It's like
it'd be nice to back off a little bit and have a functioning team.
Yeah.
Like,
the reason
see that.
the reason why we don't back off is because the income's not there.
Yeah.
You got to
That survival
You
thing,
got to
yeah.
stay in it. You better be stayed engaged because I'm telling you what, you like your vacation. It's the last vacation. You know what I mean? Because at home there's no more bread in the pantry.
Yeah.
Type situation. But so if you had more momentum and you had where you can kind of I don't want to hand it off to anybody. I mean
Mhm.
I would love to be a part of it and help them and grow it. And I have 4 children. I don't know what they're going to end up doing. They might want to get involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a person that pushes them along. I let them try to pick out what they want. But I think if they saw mom and dad doing well and they saw opportunity, I think they would pick up a part of it.
Mhm.
Instead, they see dad working his guts out, and and they're like, well, I don't want to do that. That's no fun. Well, it's no fun because I'm not persistent enough with it. I'm not consistent enough with it. You know what I mean? So if we had a system on the back end, and I understand what business takes, and get better on the back end, to get better on the front end.
Okay. So the big question is, you've been through a lot of the things I've been through with the tough times, oh my gosh, are we going to survive? Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
You ate burritos. You ate wrong.
Yeah, I had frozen burritos from the dollar store. Yeah, yeah, I've been there. Split one with the wife. That was my absolute lowest point. We had to split a frozen burrito. So I've been there, and you've got to think about what is your enough is enough number that you'll feel like you can let off the gas and at least do this for fun and truly do it just to help people because you're financially secure, meaning all debts are gone and you have X dollars in the bank that we know we're okay. We're not worried if a deal falls apart or whatever. What kind of number do you think that's going to be for you that, kids are gone, a lot of those expenses are gone. If we get house, credit card, cars all paid off, all of that stuff, what kind of number do you think you'll need to say, I'll work if I want to work, but if I don't feel good today, we'll have a lay in bed day?
Well, I don't think it's ever gonna be. No, it's not. There's no way.
That'd be great though.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Help somebody else along. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a Greg, it's so hard because I mean, I'm very grateful and very thankful for my life. That's the biggest thing. And I am so, I'm so, I'm so blessed to have Meredith in my life, and I'm so blessed to have four wonderful children. So it's really, I don't know if it's a number for me.
Mhm.
It's more of like, hey, we want to go see our daughter because she lives over here, and we want to take 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just, I think it's more about options, and I don't know the number for options or the. I don't know that. I can't really say, hey, no, let's have $3 million in the bank, and because I probably do some stupid development and start a development and start building it out. It's like, because money is a little bit of a motivator, but money is not everything to me. It's me, like, I've seen a vision or seen a grasp or something, an opportunity, and I love challenges. And when I overcome the challenge, I get bored and I look for something else to do. It's like, what am I gonna do next? It's like, that was easy. I want to go try this. So
Yeah.
I can't really say a number, and maybe you can help me with that number. You know what I mean? Say, hey, Trey, I think if you put yourself this goal here, and that's maybe what I need from you is hey, let's get here, because I see people when they get here, their lifestyle changes. They're
Yeah.
able to do that kind of stuff. Because I've never been there, so I don't know what it's like looking back, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's something for you.
I think my biggest concern with us building something out for you is going to be you're really going to need people before the profits. And the reason I say that is the way you've ran your real estate business is you can stay focused on that or do other things or whatever, but then you're spending time with the kids. And then you're doing all this other stuff again, and then you're helping other people. And then you're doing all this stuff again. Well, the problem we've got now is the transition you're getting ready to go through. The kids are going to be elsewhere. You don't want to be owned by the business.
Right.
You're going to hate the business because you're not going to be able to go fulfill their adulthood lives. You
Right.
know what I mean? So
Yep.
you're going to need people in order to have boots on the ground so you don't give up that side because you'll start to hate the business, or you'll pull back and just, I'm going to be with my kids, which means you don't make the money you want to make.
Yep.
That grind's going to continue.
Okay.
So I really think that we need to build the business and get to where we're making a lot of money, but you can't leave for 3 weeks or 2 weeks if you've got 12 deals in contract.
Right.
You just can't do it. There's too much going on. There's an inspection, there's a closing, there's a whatever. So I really think if we're going to build this thing, it's going to be just you guys at first, but very quickly we'll need to bring in somebody that's competent, that's confident, that can do a good job for you. So you're not giving away the fact that, the kids aren't just down the hall now. I mean,
Yep.
it's not like we can do some work and then make sure that they're okay. We got to go somewhere. So, we really got to kind of think about that, because if you build a business and you're tied to that, you're going to miss their adulthood life, which is what you're kind of looking forward to, right? Seeing what they're doing. Yeah, I think as we start to build this out and look at the route you want to take, you're definitely more you're inspired by the emotional side. So I can tell you a whole lot of things that sound great and they're going to work, but you also know you're not going to do them.
Right.
So
So
you
true.
gotta let me know. Like I can see myself doing that. I can't see myself doing that. And I think the morals and the ethics are important to you, and making sure it feels good and you're truly helping people. And if it feels like you're strong arming someone, or you may be the type that you don't like working divorce situations because of the tension there or whatever, just let me know and we can take another path, because I don't want to build something that you force yourself to do and you don't really like it, because you've definitely found a way to survive doing things that you love.
Yep.
And you got to make sure that that's how you guys build the business out too. I mean, this has got to be enjoyable for you. You don't want it to be miserable. And, there's nothing worse than having deals in contract with people that don't like you or respect you
No.
and look at you as that salesperson.
Right.
You're just saying that to get the sale. If you had that relationship with them to begin with, they would have never gotten to that point. So we can definitely do a lot with building your sphere and getting people to know you, like you, and trust you to begin with, long before they have a real estate need. So you're really just helping a friend.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of the model you want to build. I think that gives us a good lay of the land. Let's go over, take a look at marketing and advertising and how we're going to build this thing, and what niches we want to work. How's that sound?
Great. Thank you.
Good.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
So Troy is a really good real estate agent, and you can see that he has a big heart. He has lots of friends, lots of people that he works with. Our goal here is to get him really focused on what's going to make the biggest impact for his family and his ultimate retirement. We want to do that both financially as well as mentally, so he is focused, has the free time that he needs to spend time with family too. Okay, so let's get to work. Tell me a little bit about the last year. I know you said you did about 120,000 in commission.
You know,
Where did those deals come from? Was it mostly buyers or sellers? Tell me about the business.
mix of both, mostly sellers.
Okay.
Some off market stuff. Mostly off markets. I really focus on, like I said, the letters, the James letter and the Stephanie letters and the Grady Luther letter. So that's really our focus on that, and I get a lot of off markets off of that.
Okay, that's good. So obviously with the inner circle approach, you're saying I don't want the MLS and all the pick through stuff. Let me find some off market properties. It's better for the buyers and better for the sellers in many cases. So that's where most of them are coming from.
But then when I pick them up, and it's not like I've sold some MLS stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm selling my MLS stuff and I'm posting stuff on MLS too. So it's not strictly like I don't, like I said, I'm not doing the MLS. No, I'm 100% in there too.
Yes, just do both.
Absolutely.
Okay, very
Absolutely.
good. And so mostly on the listing side, what's your average sales price been, do you think?
Right around the 250 to 300 mark, right around there.
250 to 300 average. So you're getting eight to $9,000 when you sell a house.
Yeah.
What kind of split are you on with your brokerage and all that?
Well, I can get 100%.
Okay.
Because it's all transaction fee.
Okay.
So I'm kind of in a little bit different situation. It's like people, hey, you want to come on? No.
No, I get 100%. I'm fine. Yeah.
That, yeah. And you can, I can pay up front at the front of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and get 100% if I want to.
Okay.
So, but there's no like cutoff or anything like that. It's not like, I know Keller Williams has something like that. You get,
Yes,
oh, yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
get to this point that you don't have to pay this much. Me, I just give them it's a 795 transaction fee.
Okay.
And I can put that right in a transaction fee. I usually don't. I usually just put 495 in and I eat the rest of it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because it's hard for me to say on you just bought a house and you're gonna pay another $1,000 yearly. So I just said broker fee. Yeah, I just can't do it. So I
Okay.
usually, and I tell my closing, hey, this is your gift. My office charges are this,
Yeah.
and I'm paying the 495 for you. So I help them out with that. So.
Okay. Very good. And then over the last year, where do you think those leads came from? If you were to source where each of your closings came from, how did you pick up those?
The small network of friends and family. Oh, I've been here for so long. I mean, I built business my whole life or so. I'll take you uptown, and there'll be three people saying hi, Troy. So it's not like, not trying to be arrogant or anything like that. I'm just saying, just when you're in business, you meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've been in business since I was 16 years old.
And you're in three businesses.
So, and I get a lot of phone calls. Hey, Trey, who do you got for this person? Who do you got for this person? Who do you recommend for this? I mean, continuously. Merit's got an idea that I should be doing. I haven't done it. It's like, you have so many skilled customers, and not customers, but acquaintances and guys that that have been in the trades for your whole life. You should, we should do something with those. I mean, and help them build their business, help you build your business. But anyways, we can get into that someday. But
Okay. So sphere of influence has been the bulk of the business you've
yeah,
gotten.
yeah,
Okay. How big is your sphere right now?
I have no idea.
Do you market to them on a regular basis or anything? Or is it just kind of when you're in town, you see them or?
Yeah, I don't do any like any little newsletter. I did newsletter for a short time. I'm like gosh, this is like it's just like it's like you do a great job. I'm like I got something else to do than sit
Yeah.
on this thing and design this. That's where I fail. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like it's probably I'm losing future business
Oh,
off
yeah.
that, but it's like to do it right now. It's like I don't take time to do it right now. So that's yeah,
Okay.
that's with you.
Okay. Very good. And then do you have an email list of them? Do you have a database or a CRM of any
No, I think
use?
nothing.
Don't use no connection at all?
No.
Wow.
No CRM, nothing. I know.
Post-it notes, anything?
Oh, here's one says Karen's comps. My post and yeah.
Yeah, so he does have a whole list of the addresses that he'll sit and write letters.
Oh,
Letters. So he was showing this. So
Okay.
I mean, it's just one letter.
you
One letter.
do the email sequences or any of those drip campaigns, nothing.
Zero.
We got a lot to work with.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're making 108 of doing none of that stuff, I'm going to imagine what you'll make with it. So tell me about the marketing that you've done over the last year. I know you've got some examples here. So if you want to kind of run through, let's talk about what you do. Has it worked? Has it not worked? What do you like or not like about it?
I would love like this one here is like I actually sold this house. I sold it. It wasn't even my listing. What I did, meet your new neighbor. Okay. So I hit this. This is like 900 some odd people I sent out to in this little pocket right here. Meet your new neighbor here in Davison, our local town here. And actually, I just did a video with them out in front of their house and said, "Hey, what do you guys like about your house and stuff like that? And come meet your new neighbor." Because it was hard for me to advertise someone's house that wasn't my listing. So
Yeah.
I just put it, "Hey, come meet your new neighbor."
Okay.
So I put that together. Um, Let me see here. Then this one here is I just put a just sold. Here's a just sold and coming soon. Like what you have there.
Yeah, the jar's similar.
Yep. This is all you.
It's us, and then you can switch.
This all you.
This is all the inner circle template.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
100%. Right on Canva. I'm pretty good at Canva.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I mean? I don't mind that.
Yeah.
So here's one of yours here. So this is all your stuff. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
my changes.
Okay.
I actually changed my face. They said, Troy, you need to change your face. So I changed. I'm trying to get up.
This looks a lot more like you. I was going to say, I've seen 4 of you so far.
Say. So I'm doing a lot. And then this one here, I did.
And you actually are looking better, so you are aging fine.
Am I looking
That's a Michigan fine wine.
So yeah, I did this one here.
Look at that.
Yes, I put marathon in this one because
You got a lot of appointments from that one, huh?
yeah, this is a $3.2 million listing, and I had a cash offer for 2.3, and then went for a listing for a year, and now they have another agent, a really good agent. She does a great job, and the new listing is 2.375. And I want to call my buddy up and say, "Hey, I had that number for you for a year ago." You know what I mean? So anyway, so that was a good one. So I hit that in there, and I ended up getting a $900,000 listing off of that
Okay.
because I hit that in that neighborhood that's on a lake.
Were you doing these every door direct mail?
Yeah, because you said on writing when you meet what was it? Not a FISBO, but when you meet them, immediately write out a letter to them and send it to them.
Yes.
So I started making this a thank you for taking time to read this letter.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that was kind of like, hey, thank you, appreciate it. Trying to connect with them so I don't think you're goofball here trying to sell something or one of those other real estate.
And those are working okay?
Those are working. That's working really good.
Good.
He said he gets better response with the no QR code, but it could be because people are that just using the rest of his channel.
You said that at the retreat. You said that at the retreat. I'm like, yeah, you knuckle. I sent out 2,200 of them and I get nothing. I mean, 2,200. And I started out. I was one of the first guys to hit that James letter when you first launched that. And
Well, we were at your place. That was when we had a mastermind meeting.
and that thing exploded.
Oh, you should get a ton of leads. Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So then I got into the QR code. I don't mind doing the video stuff like that, but they're like, this donkey doesn't know anything, So I'm like, well, so now that ran for like 2 years, and I'm like, I was getting some good numbers, but it might have been just where I might hit the right neighborhood. But I mean, I sent out 175 and I got 5 leads.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right.
It's big numbers. Yeah.
Or what's up? Yeah. So I was like, if I get 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 250, I feel like I'm doing really good. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people don't realize, I mean, businesses these days are, if it's a restaurant, if I'm driving down the road with my fiance and I say, hey, there's a restaurant right there. You want to stop there? She's like, I don't know. Let me check. Right? The construction guy on the billboard, he's spending $5,000 for the billboard and, JD Construction. Hey, we were thinking about building a deck here. Should we use JD Construction? I don't know. Let me check.
Yeah.
So they're doing their research online before they call you, and they're certainly doing that on a service provider like a real estate agent. So you got to think about Googling yourself. And we've talked about reverse engineering, like take the journey that the consumer is going to take. When they find out about you, they're researching you. Is this guy legit? Has he ever killed anybody with a chainsaw? Does he have a record?
Absolutely.
Is he in the Better Business Bureau with a bunch of complaints? They're doing all of that. But then if they can get to your Facebook, your YouTube, anything that's free, you don't need any new websites or anything, but then they can consume some stuff to see your personality, your sincerity, your knowledge base, what you've done. You've done this your entire life.
Yep.
You're not just on the real estate side of showing homes and doing inspections and setting up the closings, but you've done the construction side.
Yep.
You understand repairs and rehab and approximate costs. If you can share all of that with them before they ever call you, a lot of your business is secured before you ever have that conversation. So many agents are worried about, what do I say? I need a script. How do I not mess this up? It's what you did before they even called you that matters.
Yep.
So we can strategically kind of create Facebook and YouTube that when someone lands on me, it looks the right way. I would include both of you. You're both involved, so I would include both of you, show both personalities. It's really good, especially with husband and wives. It's really good to be real. So be educational, direct to the camera, but then, if I cut in with her, no, that's not how it works. No, you would do it this way, and do like the little husband and wife bickering thing.
All right.
And then he's like, okay, I'll just let her take over. And that makes you look real. As opposed to direct to camera, really perfect and put a flower behind me here. That's going to make people think a whole lot better of you. When they get the letter, they scan the QR code, they do that research, they're like, okay, this is the real deal. So how you set yourself up for the Google search is as important as it used to be 15 years ago to have the office looking good when people walked in. Let's make this pretty. Let's get a little waterfall over here. We got to do that online now. And it's a credibility factor you got to think about. So any testimonials you can get, you got to have the greatest testimonials in the world, or they would do them for you if
I know.
it went back today.
Yeah, the question is I don't have any. I think I have two. Okay. So that's gonna be Meredith's our best friend. This is my best. They're gonna be, and then they're gonna be. That's gonna be Meredith's job. I'm being honest. So that she's gonna go back. I mean, I'll go back to. I can go back to all my sales and I can bam 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 and get them all. So
Okay.
but so that was good.
Yeah, because you want to put all that online. I mean, and that's part of kind of the playbook that we'll put together
Okay.
today is like, here's the 9 things we want to do.
Okay.
And it just positions you so that when you do send out the letters, you actually get the response you want.
Absolutely.
An awful lot of agents would say, Greg, here's my video. Before I send this, scan the QR code. Here's my video. Let me know if the video is good. And I'll watch it and I'm like, video is actually pretty good. I think you're good to send. But then when they send it, they'll see 77 views, no calls. 77 people scan the QR code because you can track it,
Yep.
but nobody called. Well, it's what they found once they got online. Usually what you'll find is like your company's provided website for you, and then Zillow and Realtor.com and all of them swiping your name to get that traffic and sell it to someone else because there wasn't enough about you. So do you have press releases you're doing every month? Do you have testimonials that are being posted? A lot of those factors will come into play.
Okay.
So we can definitely look at kind of how you are on YouTube. Are you doing much with Facebook?
I do have a lady that does all my Facebook ads.
Okay.
So they're hitting 2 to 3 a week. I just found out that my Google ads is a little messed up, so I was trying to figure out that.
Okay.
So I'm doing like I was doing Google ads up all the way up until July, and then the month of July nothing happened. I'm like, so something happened in there. So anyway,
Is it a full-time employee, or tell me about that?
no, I just pay. She has a media business, and so I just pay her X amount of dollars per month, and she does so many postings, and then she fixes everything. If there's a problem, I'm like, you deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. And then so it works out good. I personally think it works out good.
So kind of a part-time substitute.
Yeah, she does. All she does is that. I mean, I talk to her once a week,
Yeah.
and I let her do it all. I mean, I was like, but I'm
Well, I'll have ideas. I'll be like, hey, I think you should try this or that. And then he'll say, okay. And he'll sit down with her once a week and say, hey, these are the ideas we had.
Okay.
Let me know what you can do with it.
Well,
She's great.
this is where my thinking is like we're running these baby boomer ads. I got a baby boomer ad that's running all the time and for seniors and stuff like that. But I haven't got anything back. And I said, you know what? I goes, I think we need to change this a little bit. I goes, I think I'm offending some people. I'm like calling them baby boomers and a senior. Who wants to be called a baby boomer and
Yeah.
a senior? And I said, and this is where Maris' idea came out. She goes, why don't we say like, I guess there's like, I don't watch TikTok, but I guess there's things on TikTok that say, hey, do you remember when Elvis Presley did this?
Right.
And they click on it, like, oh my gosh, I do remember.
Or no, it's like if you used Aquanut in your hair, you probably need to start using under eye cream, like those kind of things.
It's certain eras, but they would remember these things. My son has no idea who the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is, so that gives you an idea.
So I said, lead off with a question like that. That we like categorize them without labeling them.
Right.
So we try.
Well, yeah, because I'm like,
But
because I can be offensive, and I don't mean to be offensive, but my personality just comes that way sometimes.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't do that at all.
but this is not offensive. He's direct.
I'm trying. It's be not offensive, but it's just chat.
Yeah,
And if I'm wrong, let me know. But no one's tell me I'm wrong because they don't want to argue.
that's right. That's right. It's crucial for you to take the customer's journey. When it comes to all of your marketing, you want to take the exact same journey that your customer will to see if everything lines up properly. You might go to a dead end link. You might try to download something and it doesn't get sent to you, or it gets sent to your spam email box. You've got to follow the exact same journey that they do. The old school approach was using secret shoppers, having people call into the office just to see how the phone is answered and how they're converted and if they have good scripts and if they're doing a good job with objection handling. You have to do that online and offline. In the real world, face to face, as well as in the digital world, you want to take that customer journey to make sure nothing is broken. So always run through that journey with every marketing piece you're doing to make sure that it does end the way that you want it to. And ultimately, the buyer or seller is very happy with the process that's happening for them. You have the what you guys call the MIT, right, of Michigan.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about kind of the areas you like to work.
So I did this, kind of put this together. This is like Lapeer, and this is where we're at. We're right here. So I'm sorry, we're here. We're at the 264,000 is average sale price.
Okay.
Okay. And I got the volumes, I got a lot of numbers if you want to look at those, but you can look here, you go start at 159 and you end up at 575, 848, 774, 550, 590, 466. That's an out.
And you do go down there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So those numbers as they go, and this is to the water. So this going to the water. Um, there's really I don't go over there. You can do some lakefront properties over there, but that's very few. So you gotta look at the volume, like what's being sold there. Was there 83 of these homes sold last year, or there was 400 sold last year? So the volume, and this is like we have two highways, M24 and M53, and they're two highways that go straight south. So it's
Okay.
easy to get to. You're not driving back roads.
Yeah.
So that's my corridors is like
What do you call that south area?
this here.
Yeah.
They call this Metro Detroit, but we call it Birmingham, like Royal Oak and stuff like that.
The lower level there, we're calling that Birmingham general area.
Yep.
Is that an older demographic in those $800,000-$900,000 homes? Younger?
Yeah, they're like
What's pulling them to that area? Why would somebody move there?
um it's what it's created. It's the only it's the wealthiest part of the east side of Michigan.
Okay.
So it's like the
spot.
that's the spot. Like our daughter has a business there, and it's just she's down. She lives there, so
Okay.
it's a
Good reason for you to go down there too.
yeah, it reason for it. But you got, I mean, it's just where the money is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there's any kind of, it's where the football players live. That's where the baseball players live. That's where
So it's the high end of Detroit.
it is. Yeah, the highest
Okay.
end. Yes.
Okay.
And so, you're only an hour away. So I've got some down there. I got some Troy business down there. It's called Troy's just on the outside. And Troy is that's 578, 460. So on average sell price. So that
Okay. Any does your daughter have a business you can tie into there or help or use or anything?
No, she's an esthetician.
Okay.
I mean, she refers them to everybody.
yeah.
Better to work with rich people, right? Yeah.
So that's what she said.
Yeah.
You
Very good. Okay. Now, if someone were moving from there, where are they moving to? Are they staying local in that area? Are they moving out of the area?
I don't think
They aren't leaving that area.
no.
Do they move up to that area, even though it's down? But like they stage up where you
Is it
some.
I feel like people that move to that area might come from out of state.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
That's a
That's
great
good
question.
question.
Yeah, we might want to look at some domestic migration patterns mapped,
On
because you can choose a county or even a zip code, and when you look up domestic migration patterns map, it'll show you one family moved here, then their aunt came, their mom came, their sister came, and their kids came. Like if you're looking at, as an example, Florida. If you look up Tampa, Florida, they're coming from 75 down, not from 95 down. People coming from 95 down go to the other coast of Florida.
Okay.
So much so that Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, they all go down 75. They're all going to be Tampa, Naples, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And the banks that are here set up banks down there.
So it's easy.
But they don't have them on the other coast because their customers aren't migrating down. Whereas if you're in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, whatever that is, they're coming down 95. They're over at West Palm Beach and that type of thing. And all of their affiliated businesses go down there. So it's really good to just see, if I'm working in the Tampa area, what counties of Ohio, Indiana, Michigan are people moving to Tampa. Well, the same's going to be true for the Birmingham, Michigan area.
Sure.
Where are they coming from? And then we can find out a little bit of why. So I would do a little research on that and just see which it'll highlight the counties in the U.S. They might be coming from San Diego, California, and one county of that general area. So if we can find that out, we can drop a pin, run some ads there to get them to come here.
Right.
So
Looking for Oxford and Mike Orion.
Yeah, I can be. It's south of us. There's some, 465, 317, 449, 380, and that's on their way.
Those are closer.
Those are closer.
Very
Closer. Yeah,
Okay.
Baraham's an hour. Those are like 35, 40 minutes. So, but you're still looking at the same numbers of 450.
well, and they may be a better fit for you if it is a older demographic. If we're trying to do baby boomers,
Yes.
and there's not a lot of buying for $1 million down there and the hustle and bustle,
Yeah.
they might be in this midway area.
I think that other is more of a luxury market, I would say. And like we can, I wouldn't mind getting to the luxury side too. So that is probably another, I guess, slide out the construction, maybe slide in luxury. Maybe we can do.
What's that area called?
The luxury would be Birmingham.
The one.
It is okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the 465 or the?
That's Lake Orion, Oxford.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's Lake Orion, Oxford area.
Lake Orion.
Yep, Lake Orion, Oxford.
And what was the price of the Metro Detroit Birmingham?
848.
And
Yeah, that's the highest. I'm sorry, that's the highest. And like 774.
okay, so
848 count. And that is 878 is another one in there. So that little pocket right there is
Okay.
um
So we can kind of narrow down it, and the mailing list brokers want to help tremendously with age
Yeah.
demographics and finding, if we do want to work that age group and getting our message together to them as well. Now, Meredith, would you like him to do anything? Like, he said you have some ideas, some stuff you'd like to do.
Well,
What-
it just randomly comes to me. Like I'll randomly get a good marketing idea and be like,
Okay.
stress.
Any ideas come to mind that you'd like to see or that you've thought about doing or?
I thought of an ad recently that he could do just to get feedback on like Facebook. He could do like before I meet you. Like what happens before I meet you?
Mhm.
What's going on? Why am I worth being your realtor? Like what's the process? So I was thinking he could do like a little slide thing for that. I usually just make random notes, ideas. Everyone calls him for everything because he knows how to do all things or has a connection to someone for everything. So at one point I told him, well, you need to do like a whole Hey Troy series because people call and go, Hey Troy, my septic field's not working. Hey Troy, I want to paint the interior of this home. Hey Troy, I'm interested in this house. Could you look at it really quick and tell me how much you think it's going to take me to replace the drywall? He just like knows all things. So I feel like that would be really good feedback.
Yeah.
So like,
You're like the old school Ask Jeeves,
yes.
right? The original Yahoo.
Like instead of Googling that, people are like, hey,
Yeah, they just Troy it.
yeah, just
Yeah.
try it out.
I don't know. Look it up on Troy and see what it's going to cost.
Right. Yeah, so I thought that would be like a good idea as like a side series if he needed something continually. I don't know. I just think of random
Mm-hmm.
ideas.
Okay. And you're pretty comfortable on video, right?
Most time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most
Okay.
time I am.
Yeah, because I mean that's a really good way to show off what it is that you know by actually helping people, actually educating
Yeah.
them. So, if you just do a 12-part series on, here's how it works with septics, here's how it works with
Yep.
rehab, here's how it works with, choosing the right paint, where does semi-gloss go and where does whatever, and it's real estate based information. Doesn't really have anything to do with what an agent would do, but it shows that you're more than qualified.
Right. And kind of what I was talking about when we were, talking earlier. You were like, I just want to do my 6 videos to put something on YouTube and it's going to be 6 offers. And I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
need to have other things that people can relate with you and the little nuggets of information. So doing that type of stuff, it just showcases all of your knowledge in a different way where you're the authority. So they trust it so much more. So if you're comfortable on camera and you have the media person that can do it, they don't have to be long. They could be as long as the education is good and the content that makes great content. But what he just said, like the 12-part series on septic, what you see on the roofs. Oh, the average agent, they don't care that the roof's collapsing in. I'm not going to let you buy that because I know the engineering behind the fix, or you're
Right.
going to go find you something that you don't have to worry about that. So think about all the things that you were saying earlier that like you want people to know
Yeah.
and you want those victories for them and you like talk about that. It's all real estate related because of that.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah, so we'll dive into that a little bit more.
So as you can see, Troy has a huge friends list, and he's a very friendly person, and a lot of people know him, like him, and respect him. The key is going to be, how do we get more people involved? How do we get more people into his sphere of influence and really show off the goods that he has to offer? He has a lot of knowledgeable information, stuff that's very helpful for anyone that owns a house. We want to make sure that we can show that off and build his sphere of influence. What we're doing is, over the course of the next couple of hours, we're going to build an entire playbook for him to show him what to do, how to attract more business, how to promote to those folks, and ultimately sell a lot more houses. He's going to get this playbook. You can download this playbook for free today as well, and you can copy the exact same thing that Troy's going to do to massively grow his real estate business. I want you to copy it for yourself. Yeah, and to kind of get the creative juices flowing with this, I'll give you kind of a prescription on making that happen. If you haven't been sending newsletters and regular letters and staying in touch with your sphere and all that, you can start this 12-part campaign or whatever with an apology video or letter. So here's what it sounds like. It's almost putting the guilt on them instead of you that you haven't followed up. Because the problem for a lot of real estate agents is like, I sold them a house 6 years ago and I haven't followed up at all. If I do it now, it's going to look weird. They're going to know that I want them to list their home with me. So here's what you do. Hey, this is Greg Luther. And listen, I just wanted to get with you because I realized I haven't heard from you in a long time. And you may accidentally think that I'm just a real estate agent and you only call me when you need to buy or sell. In reality, I have a dream team of affiliates. I'm always the one to go to if you want to build a deck, you want some information on, should we do this rehab, should we not, should we fix this up. I've got a wealth of information. So I just want to reach out to you and say you're always welcome to contact me for anything real estate related at all. If you just need a landscaper, please reach out to me. You're not going to get a high pressure sales pitch or anything. I'm here as your lifelong realtor and I want to help you out. By the way, if you're okay with it, I'd like to include you on my newsletter as well. We send that out to everybody just so you can kind of stay up on the market. So doing that, where it's kind of putting on them like, hey, I haven't heard from you forever. You should be using me. I've got so much information here for you. So you do something like that, even if you do it in print or you do a video. But now they're like, oh, I never even thought of that. We've been thinking of building a patio here. Will we get our money's worth? Is it a good idea, a bad idea? Let's call Troy. So now you can kind of initiate that conversation. And, they're thinking, hey, should we do the room bump out that's $80,000 or should we just move to another house? You can show them the positives and negatives of both. But then that leads into, now on YouTube, here's what I think about room renovations, or here's what I think about doing a bump out or adding more square footage or, whatever. You can do that kind of video. And then the advantage is, if you are filling in the roots for a guy and you're bringing dirt and whatever, you tell her, bring the camera. We're going to do a video about this. Right.
Yeah.
So, I met this guy and the home's getting older and the roots are starting to come up and you don't need to move and you certainly shouldn't be miserable. Put a little dirt in, level it off like this. You got to plant some grass seed and keep it wet, but that's all you got to do. And it's very helpful. You put that on YouTube. You see what I mean?
Yep.
So show people that you do so much more than just let me walk through this house like a regular real estate agent. You can show that you have that knowledge base. They'd love to see you pulling up in an old dump truck. You know what I mean? Like it's so different
Right.
than what you see for most realtors, but it shows your knowledge base. So I think if you start with, hey, I haven't heard from you forever. You should be using my knowledge, and then start showing them that knowledge base. Referrals go through the roof just because like they're watching your stuff and love your stuff. I mean, you heard me say it at our coaching retreats. Um, it is amazing to me that a guy can cut grass and get millions of followers on TikTok. He just knocks on random doors
Just to clean
and just says, "Can I cut your grass for free?" And they were like, "Well, why would you want to do that?" Because millions of people watch me cut grass, and what they're looking. Nobody cares about the cutting grass. They love to see transformation. They love to see the before and the after.
Yeah.
That's the reason the real estate shows do so well. That's the reason TikTok, they want to see the what she looked like before makeup,
Right.
and then they do this, and then here's what she looked. And they love to see transformation. So anything you're doing that way, real estate related, projects or construction or whatever, I would feature that because you get a lot more followers, and they love to see the transformation side.
And getting people, if you're willing to mail the newsletter and start really nurturing the sphere a lot more, pairing video and like you love to do letters. So that letter could be the same thing. I haven't heard from you a while, blah, blah, blah. Scan a QR, go to my video. Can I add you to my newsletter list? Get an opt-in. So there's different ways that could be Facebook ad. It could be used as a mail letter, which you're very comfortable doing the letters, and getting those lists. So it could all go hand in hand to build that re-engagement.
I'm not really good at. When you look at everything as Greg says here, so I just replace my name out here. So
Just use my stuff.
I just use Greg's stuff. I mean, that's why it looks so good. I mean, not the picture, but the letter looks really good.
Yeah.
Well, but that's good of the template, but there's a lot of times that we can't get somebody. You said I'll sit and I'll do 50 to 100 letters a night just so I can get them. There's other people who they're like, nope, I refuse to sit and write the letter.
No.
So my point is like you're comfortable with letters and it's a template and that's great, but you're willing to do that.
Yeah,
Which a lot of people aren't,
right. I mean, and it's like you don't know how many. Like, I love the QR code thing because I can see how many clicks open. You know what I mean? But I just my clicks didn't come with anything. So this has actually been better with just without the QR for me. Now,
Yeah.
we changed the back end. I think the QR code will
It'll make a
become
difference.
a mess.
So-
I just know it will. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now, on the back to the baby boomers
Yep.
we were talking
Yep.
about, or that downsizing, empty nesters, what price range do you think you would work if you did go just a little south to some of those probably 300 to 350 range?
Oh,
you
yeah.
think, or
Yeah.
that's the type of
Yeah.
homes they'd be in?
Yeah, 350 to 700, I would say probably. Right
Okay.
there.
Okay, so they'll get up there pretty good.
Because you gotta understand, there's a lot of lakefront around here. There's a lot of lakes. As we go south, there's more lakes, and then we have there's they bring some big numbers. Some of the lakes to like there
Okay.
like this house here. I think it's over here. Yeah, this is here. I mean, this is that lake.
Oh, the
that-
big one, yeah.
yeah. Behind that house, I sold for 900.
Is All Sports Lake, that's what it's called?
Yeah, it's on the
Okay.
horse lake. Yeah,
Okay.
that means you can have motorized vehicle and go jet skiing and tubing and stuff like that.
I got you.
As they call it, non-motorized, you can't have any motors on it, so it's just kind of like paddle boats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I read that as that was the name of the lake.
Yeah.
That's
No.
or like
So you guys would call it just you can do anything you
anyone you're on the island, yeah, that's what all sports mean. Yeah.
Okay. And then where would these folks be moving to? So if someone is downsizing from there, would they go to a condo, an apartment, a one-story house? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, condo is it's kind of unique there. We've actually started this process. I knew this 5 years ago, years ago. I was like, there is going to be because Maris mom and dad want to downsize. They want to get out, get out, get out, get out. And we found them a little condo and they went there. As soon as they went there, Maris aunt and uncle 2 doors down said,
Oh, yeah.
we got to get out of here.
Domestic migration. That's what
And it took them there. And now I got this little, because where we live doesn't really have a really good assisted living area. There's no, like if you asked me if I had $3 million, $4 million, I'd go build me an assisted living place. I mean, because there's really not anything around here for people to really go to, like another condo complex. So there's this really it's unique. And I mean, I'm in there all the time, and everybody knows me in there. So I pick up a lot of off market stuff in there. I pick up a lot of
Okay.
so I've developed a relationship there just because my in-laws are there and Mary's aunt and uncle are there, and I've developed a relationship through this. And actually, I just showed one on Thursday, no, Wednesday. They're off market. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
So
That is the flip side.
that is
So
the
is
flip-
marketing the condo places that these people are going to move.
that if you're asking, it's going to go to, it's going to be the condo, like downsizing into a
Okay.
condo. What's
Because I have,
Price on that.
yeah, what would
Yeah.
they be?
those are like those are going like
2 to 4.
no, those are 275,000.
Like those ones are. There's some in Davison for 4.
Yeah, there's so many days. Yeah,
Conrad.
yeah.
So if they are in the 600, 700,000 currently, they might go to a 400,000
Yeah,
condo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we don't have that line. It's mostly
Yeah, south.
south of here, like 35, 40 minutes away. So,
It sounds like that's really where you need to be working, you know?
yeah, this week I'll be working, and then and when there's no new builds around here. I mean, they maybe built around here probably I'd probably say 15, maybe 20 new builds in this area. So there's really a
But they are down south.
little bit better down there. Yeah,
We need to congratulate your kids. They're going to inherit this house very quickly. You're going to move.
I don't like to say like, man, I'm like, I'll drive, so I'm okay with drives. Like I don't like waiting 30 minutes to go 5 miles. This is not me, but I'll go work it. But I have limit.
Absolutely.
That's just me. That's just me personally.
Okay. Very good. So that tells us a lot kind of about those people. Now, I have noticed when I did a little research on the area, there are some that are snowbirds and they're moving south. Have you spoken with any of those or met that type of people? They're moving to Florida, moving to Georgia, anything like
But
that?
no.
Okay.
You just get like people relocating to move where their kids are.
Yeah, well,
Mm.
I've had a lot. It's kind of crazy because everybody says I hate Michigan. I'm out of here. When I retire, I'm moving south,
They only say that in the wintertime.
and they out here.
And then they love it in the summer.
Yeah, and they leave it, and then what happens is I call it the mama bear syndrome comes. Mama bear is missing out on because the kids didn't move. She's missing out on soccer. She's missing out on football. She's missing out. And then they come back. She goes, I don't care how deep the snow is. And in 1 year, I sold like 8 homes to people coming back.
Yeah.
And you ought to see the guys, man. They're deflated. They're walking in the door, whatever she wants. I'm selling my mountaintop Tennessee house right now. And he's so miserable, he's like dragging around, damn kids, he's like, oh, I want you, it's true. And it always happens. They're like, we are coming back. We're not moving away.
Yeah.
So I call it the mama bear syndrome.
Yeah. And that's a niche you can work in itself. You can see who did move and
So you have to pump them up to move and get a referral agent going, and then pump them up to move back or get
It's the whole side, yeah.
hey, I saw your kid won up here at the soccer game last week.
our posted videos. Look at these soccer players, aren't they cute? Feed the eyes, down south, over the bus.
So yeah. So what I've done a lot of, and I would say a lot. Where would you want to have a lot? I mean, someone said try to do that in a week. I mean, to me, it's like okay, but for me, I've had some past business. I just had some I just had a client of mine that said, "Hey, we hate that we moved out of the neighborhood that we raised our family in. We thought we were ready for the condo, and went to the condo, hated the condo because he wasn't too old because he still wanted to mow his own grass. So he's like, don't mow my grass, don't weed whack my house.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll take care of the pond." And he's like, "I can't stand it here. I can't do nothing." So I found him a house in the neighborhood, and he's like, "I can mow my own grass." He's all excited about mowing. He was too early for the
Right.
condo.
He has to feel like he's still contributing
Yeah.
and doing.
Right. So you got to catch him at that. There's a certain age group. We won't say age group. We'll just say there's a certain pocket.
Just a certain phase of
There's certain places I've got,
through next-
and also health too. People get to the health situation. Like, hey man, I can't handle it. Man, I've had this problem. I got a hip problem. I got a knee problem. I can't mow the 3 acres anymore, or nor do I want to. So
So that's part of your video content is, you probably thought about downsizing. There's a million options available. You could move in with kids. You could go to an apartment. You could move to a 1-story home or even a condo. Here's a couple of things to think about. Would you like to stay active and still taking care of your own lawn, or do you wish somebody else would do that for you? Because you might be going through a different chapter in your life. That immediately tells you, do you want condo or single family?
Right.
Because keep in mind, if you just want to stay active and it keeps you healthy and it keeps you moving, we can get you a 1-story home on a small lot. So you've got something to do on the weekends and you can feel contribution as opposed to going to a condo. That's really the couple of things to weigh. Are you okay with having shared walls with someone else? When you go out on your balcony, you're going to have to say hello to Stephanie next door.
Right.
Is that something you're open to, or do you like the privacy? So that's all video content that they haven't thought of, and you're naturally educating.
Right.
So, when we're looking at the quality of the content we're putting out, it's never about you or what you can do or how you can help them. It's always just making them think of angles they never thought of to make it a good decision, because there's nothing worse than making a move and hating it. Like you really made a bad choice, and as you said, you feel defeated. Like I made a bad choice for the family, and when we got there, we didn't like it. So, if you kind of sit down and write down along the lines of the empty nester mindset, you know, um, you may want to go to Oklahoma for 2 weeks to see your kids now that they're there. Who would mow the grass? Maybe a condo is a good move for you that you can leave and you don't have to worry about the place is just going to be there. If you are going to travel to go to wherever the kids may move to 4 different states.
Right.
So I would keep all that in mind with the educational side, with even extending your reports, the video content that you're doing. It's a long thought process because this is a huge change for them. People like yourself. I mean, you've been here for how long? 20 years?
Yeah, that is. Yep.
25 years, so it's a big change. It's like, what are we selling? I don't want to leave the memories that are here. They're going through so many things. It's not just sell your big house and buy a small one.
Right.
So you really want to kind of take them through that process. There might be certain things they want to keep. I mean, my mother still has the little clay ashtray I made for her in the third grade. When you're downsizing, you got to think about, am I taking all this with me or do I need to leave it?
That speaks to the news that you made a clay ashtray.
Yeah, yeah, because everybody smoked everywhere.
That sounds good. I think.
And it's an ashtray.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's something that it gives them a lot to think about because it is such a big move. I guarantee you, anybody you meet with about selling their home to downsize, they've talked about it for 3 years or more. If you're going to do it, but it's just such a big thing.
Yeah.
We got so much. We got 18 years worth of stuff here. I don't know what we'd want to keep, and he wants a workshop, and we can't go to a condo if he wants a workshop, and all of those things are great content to really get them thinking and get them binge watching your stuff where you become their advisor.
Right.
And that's really what you're looking to do. Is it's not just call me to sell your house. It's I'm really helping you mentally with this process. So I think that's more of the advisor's position.
Okay.
And it makes you feel good to stay away from the sales side to truly be helping those people. And you'll feel like a friend to them. The first time you meet them, they're like, oh, yeah, I've watched hours of your stuff. So just being real that way and creating video content. One of the very best niches for real estate agents to work in over the next several years is going to be baby boomers. That's people born between 1946 and 1964. And that's going to be a massive amount of closings for real estate agents between now and 2034. It's something you can really make a lot of money from for a long time to come here. Now, the key is, how do you market to those people? How do you change their mind on moving, since so many of them thought they were going to age in place? And what do you need to do to attract a large number of these people? We teach a lot of this inside our Greg Luther Inner Circle coaching. So if you are an Inner Circle coaching member with us, you see a lot of stuff we're covering on baby boomers. How do we get that list of them? How do we get their contact information? Phone number, email, Facebook page, all of the different things we can do to market to them rather than what I would consider soliciting them or begging for business. We certainly don't make any calls or anything like that. Phone calls are unwanted and unwelcome. There's a much better way to get a marketing message in front of them so they contact you first. We teach a lot of that, and Troy is getting ready to jump into that right now. Let's take a look. Same with in your newsletter, do an article about, any of that stuff. I mean, here's the difference between heating and cooling bills. If you're on a fixed budget now, if you're on Social Security or retirement or pension or whatever, single family home, old windows, whatever, you're paying this much on heating in the Michigan winters. And then if you move to a condo with shared heated walls, you're only paying this much. And that gives you this much more, which is your free vacation every year
Right.
on a fixed budget. So it just breaking those things down in ways they've never thought of them. I think a lot of times that's going to be the huge difference in getting not only the the younger term is followers. Let's get as many followers as we can, but it's the quality of followers you want.
Yeah.
So that becomes your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence gets bigger because they're your viewers. It's your inner circle.
Absolutely.
It's the people that follow, get on your stuff, watch your stuff, and whenever they have a need, you're the one that they go with. They have to trust you to move forward with you.
Absolutely.
And the less you look like the unfortunately slimy salesperson that there's a lot of them out there, and the more you are a truly advisor, which every client you work with looks at you as a true advisor,
Right.
a friend. They can call you and do the hey Troy,
Right.
which that's a great idea, by the way. The hey Troy.
I do love that. I was thinking of that because, like, you could think back of so many conversations that you had, and because you are the advisor in their mind, that's why they're calling you. So you're like, yeah, yesterday, hey Troy, what's this about? Blah blah, blah. And then you just talk it out to the camera.
And my other idea with it was just that, like, he's friends with a lot of local business owners and stuff. And I'm like, this is like a win-win. Like, why wouldn't the pool company be excited about you doing an ad for that? Yeah, you post it, but then when you post it, you tag them, and then your sphere of influence is even bigger.
Yeah.
So, and he did a handful of them.
It's just like, I mean,
That fizzled.
the creative mind, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
My creativity stops. It's like, and I don't really see anything that I do is really, really like cool. You know what I mean? It's just
Or
what I,
but
or
we gotta
important.
fix like the whole little hiccups in your Facebook setup.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
I mean, like, I don't look at like, yeah, I know a painter. Yeah, I know it. That isn't, that's just, I mean, I guess it's a huge value to someone else,
Yeah.
but I don't see it as a value just because it's just what I've done.
Well, you have to
We're
remember.
used to it. Yeah, you're so
You have to remember, if we look on YouTube right now, how to change a hot water tank, there's some guy on there with his belly hanging out
Yeah.
that has 9 million views because it's helpful for them. He doesn't think it's a big deal. He's changing a hot water tank, but it's so helpful for the people that are trying to do it for the first time. They're afraid they're going to explode when they touch the gas line.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing, is it's old hat to you because you know how to do it,
No.
but it's really helpful to the people that have never experienced that before. If their septic is overflowing right now, or if they're thinking of getting a new roof, and the cost of everything these days and all that, if you just address that,
Right.
I think it really builds that trusted advisor position, and they'll share that with others and that type of thing. But a lot of it is going to be geared towards that desired client that you want, that it's helpful for them. Like, you don't need to do one video about how to buy your first house or choosing a lender or any of that stuff that a lot of realtors do. They're attracting the wrong prospect.
Right.
If you're, why you need a home inspection, you're going to get a first time buyer, because if it's the second, third, or fourth time, they don't need a video about why to choose, how to choose a home inspector. So I think that the message you put out, that bait, will attract the type of fish you want to catch.
Yeah.
So if we have that quality of bait and we really go through what are the struggles they have, and when you start meeting with 2 or 3 of them every week, you'll hear their stories,
Yep.
and you'll know, I need to add that in my content. You'll hear the wife say, I've been trying to move for 7 years and he keeps saying no because of this and this and this and this.
Right.
Well, let's do a video about that. And that really makes it to where, going back to your marketing here, when they scan that QR code, they binge watch all night long. You wake up in the morning, and at 3 in the morning, they commented on 9 different videos because they were just watching the 20-minute and the 13-minute and the 9-minute video. It's just very, very helpful for them. So,
And you're still thinking like the videos posted on YouTube.
mhm.
Oh.
I would do both. I would do Facebook and YouTube.
especially because, like, the baby boomer age, they
Yeah.
are the Facebook age. So they're
And the YouTube
Yeah,
age.
and-
They're watching YouTube, watching TV now.
But that's where they see pictures of their grandkids, and people post that. The baby boomers are on TikTok, they're not on that as much. So Facebook is much more of a personalized experience for them. So when that pops up, there's more of a trust in it.
Right.
And then YouTube as well for the content. But speaking, like, plumbers and pool people and this and that, and they don't need the lenders. But do they need the junk removal? Do they need somebody to help come and pack you up? What about decluttering? Let's alleviate the pressure of the downsize. You might be overwhelmed. We can bring this in. So start thinking like all of those steps, and that's your content. Little bits at little bits at a time that they're gonna watch.
And as you're moving south a little bit from where you're at and getting to those good price ranges, the number one reason a lot of baby boomers aren't moving right now is because of the capital gains they'll have to pay.
Okay.
Oh.
That's a big, big issue for them. Now, us in normal real estate, capital gains, what do you mean? If you've lived there 2 of the last 5 years, you don't have to pay on your profit up to 250. single, or 500,000 if you're married, and they may have more than that, which means they have to pay capital gains on that. They actually have a lot of equity, so they go above that cap. Most people we meet with that move every 5 years, they don't have over 500,000 in equity. So,
Right.
that's a factor that, and a lot of baby boomers know that they're going to have to pay capital gains, but they don't know the first 500 they don't have to pay.
Okay.
Or what if my husband died and I'm moving? Am I only the 250 now? Or the wife is now gone, and whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's always an issue for them, and they just truly need the advice. So getting that content, that's another video we can put together that they realize it's not going to cost you as much as you think it's going to cost you. Because they're thinking all of my equity is in this home. I have 600,000 here. I'm not giving 30% of it to the government.
Right.
I'll just stay here. And that's the reason they're not moving. So the more we can educate them on that, the more they start thinking, okay, maybe I could do this condo thing.
Okay.
you know Getting interviews from people. My mother's a perfect example. We moved her from a single family 1-story home to a condo, and she couldn't be happier. I thought she would hate it because shared walls, she hates noise, she hates anybody that's bothering her or whatever. But they play cards on Monday.
Oh.
The women go out to dinner on Tuesday. They do, they've got all these things that they do. They take a trip to the zoo. So they've got an activities where it was just her and her husband. Now it's everybody from the community. They know each other. Hey, can you let my dog out? We're going away for the weekend. So she loves that kind of vibe. She said, I would never go back to a single family home.
No, why say wind down Wednesdays or well years? Yep.
Burns.
Yeah, that's what they love about their kind. I mean, literally, it's a strip mall,
Mhm.
and they love it. I mean, you pull in, there's 3 or 4 sitting in the
Yep.
garage, door open,
Yep.
they're hanging out there. So it's like they're
Well, it's a different pocket of social life. You have somebody who's a starter home. Like when I first bought my first house, nobody had kids. Everybody was newly married. And then there was 12 of us pregnant at the same time with one. And the second time there was 11 of us pregnant.
Yeah.
And we had all the baby monitors on the garages and adult time on the driveways,
yeah.
but then it's hustle bustle, kids grow and you're chasing your kids around. Well, back out, they need that social activity again. So the one
The kids are gone, but she's just sitting there.
it's camaraderie and it's a social life thing that people forget that they still want
They
it.
still want
And also keeping them active keeps them around longer too. Yeah. Versus you have rotting and tears.
But, I mean, I've spoken to empty nesters that say, I thought I was an introvert. Actually, I was just at home by myself. Once I met friends, I actually love what I would prefer to be hanging out with them, but they'll convince themselves that they're an introvert because they don't like strangers.
Right.
They love friends.
Sure.
So, kind of showing that transition that happens with people really makes a big difference on, again, them wanting to move forward and turning that 5-year delay into maybe 6 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they say, oh, we got to paint the pink room, she's already off to college now. We got to change his blue carpet that he had over there. He's off to college now. Well, how long do you think that'll take you? I don't know, 6 months.
Right.
right.
It's 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's just, they,
Yeah.
they delay, they drag their feet. So, a lot of the content that you create with the Hey Troy series, or however we set that up, would make a huge difference for them to realize, hey, this is possible. And you don't need to be the one painting a room.
Right.
There's somebody else that can do that. And we have the dream team that can do that for you. The last thing you need is your husband to fall off the ladder trying to get the house ready to get rid of.
Right.
The reason you get rid of it so he doesn't get hurt out there. So let's get an affiliate or some construction person to do it as a pro and get it done immediately. So, we'll kind of look at that as well. I think that is definitely a niche that you'll do well with. There's a tremendous number of them here. I would do a little bit of content on if you do want to leave the area, if you're moving out of state, if you do want to move south or whatever, I would do more of that in the wintertime, of course.
Sure.
The first snow falls, they say, here it comes again, especially with the last winter we just had. So, I would do a little bit of content on that I work with real estate agents in every single county in the South. Wherever you go in the Carolinas, Georgia, or Florida, we can help you. And I would do a little bit that way. But we'll get some ideas together on this. And I really think that you're probably going to far surpass your goal. You'll still do the same business you're doing now. You're not going to change that at all. We're kind of molding on a really big baby boomer business. So if it's 120 to 150 a year, you're going to keep doing that from your current people. You'll still be available for them. You'll do all that. But this is likely going to be I would say 3 to 500, depending on how big you want to go with it, that we bolt on to that it's your new niche and it's the only thing you work. And for a lot of agents around the country, you'll have one guy that just does new construction and he makes a ton from that, one that does move up, one that does first time buyers, one that does estates, one that does divorces. This just happens to be a really good niche that fits for you guys.
Yeah.
You're not a 19-year-old punk trying to work with old people. They're not going to like it. We are old people these days. So I think that, the credibility is going to be there. And most importantly, they are the type that generation you were talking about eras. You're crazy if you're selling to the 20 and 30-year-olds and you say family owned since 1962. They don't care.
Don't care.
But that older generation does.
Yeah.
The younger generation doesn't care how experienced you are. The older generation does. You've been in real estate literally since before elementary school.
Right.
And some kind of construction or excavation or whatever. It has been your entire life. So those credibility factors do matter in that age demographic.
Yeah.
So you can utilize that to your benefit and it helps tremendously. I mean, you have been in the real estate world longer than a lot of agents in this town have been alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's a bunch of young kids that, they've done 5 deals and like you say, it's kind of blind archery. They don't even know what they're doing and they're just putting it together. So taking shots wherever they can
Yeah.
and sometimes they hit. So if you start to show that it has been a lifelong lesson for you
It has been.
and you can share that with others,
Yeah.
I think that'll come through to them and they actually appreciate that. That's who they would go with.
Right.
That is the type of person that would say, how long have you been licensed? How many deals have you sold? They do that. The younger generation, all they care about is the Google search.
Yep.
He got a 1-star review. You know what I mean?
Care about the review.
Yeah, that's how they make their decisions in life. And nothing wrong with either way, but we got to sell them the way they want to be sold.
Yeah.
If you're going one generation older than baby boomers, they like 1-800 numbers because they don't want a long distance call. There's no such thing as a long distance call.
Sure.
They don't even know what an 800 number is. But one thing that will also work really well with that age group is say, when you call, you will actually reach me. This is my personal. So you're not going to get someone overseas. You're not going to get someone with a thick accent that says you can't reach a real person in the country. You're going to get me. And they love that when you call, you get me. You're not going to get a recording. You're not going to get a robot. And there's no AI happening here. You're getting me. And they love to see that. Again, that's that niche. Now, going to that younger generation, they'd love to hear, you won't talk to me at all. You're going to go to a computer and do the whole thing without a human. They would love that. My son loves that he can order a pizza and doesn't have to talk to anybody. If they answer the phone, he's like, I don't know where I live. But if he can just text a picture of a pepperoni pizza, a dude shows up 20 minutes later.
And
So
I don't mind that. That market. I think there's some market there. I don't want to miss that market neither. I think there's a baby boomer market, but also there's that market too. And having a presence of like a Google Ads or having a presence of Facebook where you're hitting those both,
Mm.
I think it's both a good margin.
Yeah.
The 19-20-year-olds,
yeah,
they're tough. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they earnest money deposit is $1,000 and they gotta shove it down to 500 because they can't get pre-approved
yeah.
because you know what I mean. It's just like
Absolutely. So that's the type of thing that is really going to make the landing on your YouTube or on your Facebook say, this is my spot. This is home for me. Like I'm getting all the content that I need here. Because nobody else in your town's doing that. If we were to look right now on Facebook or YouTube and we look up your cities or your counties and put in realtor, nobody's doing anything at this level. They talk about themselves.
Yep.
I'm the best. I'm number one. You should list with me. All the typical real estate marketing that's just it's not converting for them, but it's what everybody else does. So they think they should do it.
Yep.
You're coming from a position of truly helping them, not being slimy, helping them with their needs. And naturally, as a byproduct of that, you get the deal.
Right. Does your media person that does the posts on Facebook, will she post on YouTube?
I don't know, but I think I can post it, can I?
Oh yeah, yeah. Just try.
But I can take it from her and then post it on the Facebook. I mean,
Maybe she knows how.
You have it. I mean, it's very easy to do. I was just saying, if you're
Is she local?
I've never met her, but yeah, she lives down south.
Oh, really?
yeah. My point was, like you said, I talk to her once a week, and then I don't touch it, I don't do it, I don't look at it. So
Right.
if it's easier for you to start recording content and you're like, I got my editing person and they send it to her, I don't touch it, I don't look at it, I don't do.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
still,
I can do it.
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Instead of your frustration of like, now I have to post it and come up with a cool description and I have
Yep.
to do this. So if we're taking that part and she still does it, so ask her if that's something she does. It's not that it's difficult to post,
So
but
asking her to she
if she does, if she would post YouTube videos. So if you started recording, then you don't have to worry about the tech side. And not that you can't do it, but you love the fact that you hand it off to her now and you never ask questions.
Right.
And as long as we get her doing stuff correctly with the call to actions and the descriptions and the, some training on that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that's important. Whether you're doing it or someone else is doing it, it has to be done.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would, like I said, I had nothing. I had nothing, so I was excited about having something, even if it was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter. You're gonna show up.
Well, listen, I mean, we say that all the time. There's people who plan and plan and plan, but they never pull the trigger. So, like, plan one is better than plan none. So, you're excited that you got it out there. And then versus the people who kick the can and we're like, well, it doesn't take 6 months to post one YouTube video.
I'm so glad you found problems. You know what I mean? I'm so excited. Like, the problem is, right, you're not there, but no, you are there, but you got a lot of problems. Just like, some. I'm like, what? I'm proud of myself. You know, I got a little problems. So
Well, it's good. I mean, it's holes and it's, they're easy fixes that can make huge changes. And that's the thing. Like, we're not looking to like demolish everything you've done. It's how can we make this better and fix this hole?
absolutely. I mean, I'm excited about that.
Now, you were telling me before that you've worked with an attorney that does kind of probate or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, because that's one age demographic longer, age higher.
You know?
Tell me about that opportunity.
Yeah. So I have a friend, actually went to high school together, and we reconnected about 3 years ago. And it got to a point like he didn't. He does a lot of trust, a lot of family trust.
Okay.
And then he became the probate attorney for our county. So anything that goes into probate, if there's no heirs or anything like that, he is in charge of everything of the estate, from the contents, the house, to everything.
So he's the county's probate attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get quite a few from him, and basically it's a handoff situation. So I've been over the years of me connected to auction companies. So a really good friend of mine has an auction company. So based before I got into real estate, we had a pawn shop because I was so broke that we would just buy contents of a house and then throw it in a pawn shop, and then we started buying houses, and it just grew from there. So, anyways, we developed a relationship. So, like, I'm doing one right now. This guy has got dementia. The son called me from some time ago. Hey, he's a construction worker, and he goes, "Hey, my dad's got dementia. We got all this stuff in the house. We don't know how to get rid of it." I said, "That's okay." So last week I took my daughters and we went down and organized the garage and put all the contents in the garage and posted everything, and then they came in and they uploaded everything. It's going to be an online auction in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I'm kind of jumping. That's what we got going on now. That's going to come up in August here. We'll get that listing.
You're
Okay.
getting that filmed, right? When that runs?
Right. That wasn't film.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I mean, this. So
Because that's exactly what we're saying about the baby boomers. That's a huge service. Continue, but think about the content on all of that because you're in the trenches doing it.
Yeah.
And that's
this attorney loves it because it's just like, here you go, Troy, and I just say okay, and I take care of everything. I mean, it doesn't matter we just get the deal done. So it's we have a great relationship. He's like, you're my go-to guy. It's not that I've tried to I deal with my service. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. So
Yeah.
that's worked out really good. So I got that's in the back pocket. So we have an online company that will do online auction company will actually just do it. So you don't have to move anything out. Literally, we lot it like that cabinet gets a lot of lot one, lot two, lot three, and people just buy it online and they come and they pick it up and they take it out. So when you're of that older age, they don't know how to pick that up. They don't want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to worry about leaving a huge
that's a huge video or even part of your messaging in anything you do with the boomers because that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, and it adds credibility to that niche there that you're working. Again, as empty nesters go off on their own, and a lot of times when one spouse dies, the other spouse goes back to wherever their family was. Like that husband was taking care of her, and now that the husband died, she goes back to wherever the kids live. So she's going to sell that place and move. So that's not everybody being gone and having probate or whatever,
Right.
but it's definitely one spouse died, so now that person's going to move. Great opportunity to show, here's how we do the auctions, here's how we make it easier for you. We handle everything instead of just stick a sign in the yard, sign here 6%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a I help you with the process kind of thing. So now we're talking another niche. It's baby boomers that are still ready to enjoy life or whatever, but now other people going through that other transition, whether one or both spouses passed, now there's going to be a
So
housing
you
need.
can change up like the life changes. Like you said, you use the life changes plus part. You can lean on the probate and the downsides of the trust side of that.
Yep.
Because that carried right in with the baby boomers. So now that adds like a whole nother aspect with the life changes and
Yeah.
boomers to it.
So I kind of added a little bit in here. So, do you have a trust? Is it updated? I kind of added some stuff in here. Do you need to declutter everything? So I was gonna put some points in here. This is like this is gonna be our mailing that we're gonna hit. Here we are. You know what I mean? So I was gonna look at that and say, hey, what do we need to do for that? So
Yeah.
You haven't
so-
mailed that one.
no, no, no. This is where I started.
The draft.
I started drafting there, and then
That's from our silver closings program.
yes,
Yeah.
So this is changed.
I changed that
offer.
because I did that before I've joined your deal, but I do have the original one. Yep. There you go.
Okay.
So that is yours. That's the report. And this is my question mark. Like, how do I do the report? That's my notes. That's Troy's notes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
So I mean, it's a huge new rate.
you.
No, so I mean the purpose of like most of the times we would have a QR code or go to the page to download, but the purpose of this is the phone call because that's the comfortability level
Yes.
of this generation. So by calling or texting, if they say okay, they're going to get this, then you would have that report ready to send them. But that phone call, you're already doing exploratory conversation and having like that pre-meet. Yeah, but let me grab your email address and now you can fire it off. So that's why you need that PDF version.
Okay.
Or I can bring it to you and drop it, or drop a copy in the mail to you because they like physical things to read. So that's kind of where you would have to clean that process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a entirely different niche that it would be very helpful for them. I mean, I can't tell you when I was really, really selling a ton of real estate, I met with an awful lot of older ladies that the husband died, and she's like, he's got that trailer over there. I have no idea what it's worth. He's got this truck. I have no idea what it's worth. Just they didn't know anything about it. He kind of ran all of that. And to have a professional auction company, having other people do the work, she can't stand out there in the garage for 4 hours and get
Name's right
ready.
going up. Yeah.
So even if you were taking a portion of it, or a company comes in and says we get 20% for doing all of this or whatever, it's so helpful for that generation, and they need that in order to make it happen. Otherwise, they're going to get taken advantage of.
Right.
What I noticed about this generation is it's not always the money. Sometimes it is. Sometimes they're in a position where money does matter.
Yeah.
But a lot of these have pretty good retirements, and there's a pretty good nest egg set up. It's mostly like how am I going to get this all done?
Convenience is
Yeah,
helpful.
and they never come down to never negotiating on commission,
Mhm.
never negotiating on what the cost is for the auction company to come in, not the cost per setup. They don't ever look at the numbers, and if they do, I'm like, it's going to come out of your proceeds.
Mhm.
It's not something you got to come up with right now. It's not something you got to write a check for right now.
And it's almost all proceeds.
Yeah.
They got so much.
You have so much equity, and I'm like, okay, so it's going to be X amount of dollars, and so they see that as like a nice comfort level. But
Mhm.
I mean, I just met a 91-year-old lady over an hour away that was from my attorney, a guy that I work with. And she had stuff in the boxes and stuff like that. She was trying to get ready. But I said, you just, she goes, what am I going to do with this couch? I'm like, you know what? I bet you the people that might move in and stuff, they might need that couch. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, we'll just leave the couch. Because I know in the end, if they don't want to get rid of the couch, I'll get rid of the couch.
Yeah.
It's like, the couch is not, to her, it's a massive situation because there's no way she's going to get that thing out the door or move.
Yeah.
So, I'm just like, hey, it's going to be no problem here.
Yeah.
So, so if you have a way to get rid of it, it's a huge.
Yeah, they think things are a massive undertaking. Yeah. So simplifying it and showing them that the process isn't that hard not that difficult. It's not that scary. I love the online auction things too, or even if someone's taking in because the whole house isn't emptied right away, which that could feel overwhelming because they just lost everything at once. Where it's like, okay, it's like it's a little process. Yeah, we're doing it in your garage.
It's gentle. I call it.
Yeah, for sure it is. I'd say says them into that.
I tell everybody this is a gentle process. We're not doing this tomorrow. Like I met out with her and she's like, "Are we gonna sign?" I'm like, "No, there's no signing, nothing. You just get your new place. Everything's gonna be fine. I'll be back in 2 weeks. You'll be everything taken care of at that point." So it's more of a and that's
Just understanding it.
yeah, it's a trust factor, and then and you don't want to zip in there and say, "Hey, we got a deal going." See, it's not that. It's like, "Hey, we're gonna hear and we're gonna help you, get through this
Yeah.
process."
When I was a kid, I used to laugh that my dad would come home from work and take a nap at 7 o'clock on the couch. Now I understand it. So, as you can see, we're really digging deep on this baby boomer niche. And if you can market to them correctly and you can sell to them the way they want to be sold, rather than you focused on just getting a listing, if you can help them with the things that are important to them, you're going to do very, very well. Unfortunately, an awful lot of agents try to put tight deadlines on them or sense of urgency and that type of thing. And that's simply not there. And I found that for an awful lot of realtors, you have to work with them with their comfort schedule as well. Don't put a big rush on them. Don't tell them they have to sign something today. You'll find that if they're comfortable, they're going to move forward. I want to show you exactly how you can build that for yourself. Work with these folks, but then more importantly, get them to be comfortable working with you. Let's dig in a little more. And it's the same with the older folks this way. I mean, it's just how many times do we try and set up a listing appointment with someone and they're like, "Oh, can't do Tuesday. I got a doctor's appointment." Well, what time's your doctor's appointment? Well, it's 9 a.m., but it's all day. I can't. I can do one thing a day. I can't be doing two things.
You went to the dentist at 10. We have all day.
Yeah,
We're good.
we're highly productive. They do one thing a day and they're spent. That's it. But there's just so much you can do to build that trust and not feel pressure for them. I mean, another video idea for you is you may have considered if you need a little bit of cash, you may have considered doing a reverse mortgage on your house. You've got a lot of equity right now. You may have considered a reverse mortgage. Let me caution you, if you call one of those companies, they're very good at giving you 99 reasons it's a great idea.
Right.
Let me give you a few ideas as to why you shouldn't do that. Do you really want to keep the house and pay the landscapers and do what you're doing? Maybe downsizing is better. You can cash out rather than paying interest on the money you're trying to get access to. Sometimes a reverse mortgage does make sense. Sometimes it makes sense to just take your money, and not pay interest on it. So doing a little video like that, because if you've ever called one of those reverse mortgage companies, they only give all the great reasons to do it. And then they're still in a house that doesn't really fit their needs.
Right.
But they've got the cash to keep moving. To pay the landscaper,
Yep.
well, why
Let
let the cash and pay them when you could just get rid of the landscaping? So I think just educating them on positives and negatives of both sides, not even leaning them one way or the other. Maybe they should get a reverse mortgage and stay there forever, but just educating them on that, they realize again, you're on their side and you're truly just trying to be helpful rather than to pigeonhole them. And, you don't want to say, reverse mortgage is stupid. It's going to cost you a ton of money. Just sell the place. Well, that's what a salesperson would say.
Yeah.
So it's showing the positives and negatives to both, and it builds so much trust. And then we can go right back to what you started with today. A lot of your business comes from sphere of influence. Well, that's going to be 100 deals a year. You see what I mean? Because your sphere of influence is bigger. You've got a huge sphere and you've got a big fence around them. So no poachers are coming in to get them.
Right.
And you just cultivate them and they keep growing until they're ready to be picked, until you can help them with their real estate need.
Right.
So I really think that that's kind of the path you want to take is from a position of being helpful rather than feeling like how do I have the perfect script to convert them to get them to say yes to me? It's just the wrong way to do business,
Absolutely.
so that's likely the best way.
Right.
Getting some good ideas and
Yeah.
content and kind of knowing what niche to work.
Well, the fine tuning. You know what I mean? Just to fine tune the head direction. You know what I mean? I know this is my direction, but
Mm.
to fine tune the back end of it, like
Yeah.
I can make a mess.
Yeah,
They clean up the mess and make it.
Yeah.
I'm working on
it's just going to be a construction zone for a long
You know what I mean? It's yellow tape this baby.
Yeah.
I should ram myself.
Yield our dust. We've been building this niche for 7 years.
It's where this mess. I'm saying, yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm excited about is and then systematizes. And I just wanted You have a twin sister that can come work for me, right?
Well, what we'll do is we're going to get some ideas together and start to develop the playbook so you know exactly what you want to put in place. And then you can kind of get the order in which you want to do it. Let's just do these two things first. Once that's done, let's do these two things and have a real systemized approach so that when you turn it on, the machine's running. I always use that example of the pizza oven. If you put the raw pizza in this way and you just run around the other side and it's doing all its magic in there and out comes the perfect pizza. You want that with your machine, that you put $500 in advertising and all your systems, your email, your campaigns, they see your YouTube videos, everything out, and out comes $20,000.
Right.
That's what you want to build, the perfect pizza machine
Yep.
for your system.
Absolutely.
We want to get that working for generating leads and converting them the right way and feeling good. I mean, they're ultimately going to be lifelong friends of yours. You're doing it the right way. Okay, so let's put together a playbook for Troy where he knows exactly what to do, the methods he's going to utilize, the system to put in place to start attracting a lot more closings. Now, I want you to download this for free as well. You can use it in your own real estate business. And I got to ask you, of all these things we're getting ready to cover, every single thing he could do in this playbook, which one are you going to use to attract a lot more business and get some fast closings right there in your own local market? Let's check it out. All right. So now what we're going to do is kind of go over a playbook, ideas, systems to put in place so that as you start generating more revenue, number one, you're creating enough to hit the goals that you want to hit, but that you can also manage it, that it doesn't become too much for you. So what we've done is kind of spent some time going over the biggest ideas that, or I should say, the most profitable ideas that, if put in place, can help you to get where you want to be financially. I think the number one opportunity for you, like the lowest hanging fruit and biggest opportunity, is video content for boomers and seniors. So again, kind of focusing on those born 1946 to 64. Probably even a better use would be anybody born before 1964, because even if they are a little older than that, that's fine too. Particularly since that leans into the attorney friend and you've worked some probate stuff and things like that, you'll have some credibility there. The video content, and we'll put some things in your playbook as well to show you lots of the headline of the video and then the 4 or 5 talking points. So you have kind of an outline of what to put together. And then we'll do the next one. Here's the headline. Here's the 4 or 5 talking points. So we'll put a few in there to give you ideas on kind of what they're most interested in, what will have the highest viewership rate, and ultimately start building that following. So it rolls into, what does our Facebook page and our YouTube page look like, as well as some of the Google ads you're doing and that type of thing. So I know you've looked over some of that, and we were kind of looking at it as at lunch as well. There's a lot we can improve on that side to get you a bigger response rates. You want to kind of go over that now, or?
Yeah. So on the YouTube page, you have one video and obviously low subscriber count. We need to get that. Once you have this content, you're going to start putting that on there. But what we need to do is look at your YouTube backdrop, your main banner. You can make that a little bit more lively. I think it was just a red header. It was just a header over like a colored background. Also, we need you to do like an about you video. Your background, all of your knowledge points that you shared with us today. So you have the construction side, you have the flipping side, you have tons of real estate knowledge, and then never mind the actual 30-year real estate career. So you do a little bit about me. If you go to like our YouTube page, for instance, there's the Greg Luther coaching. There's the it's called a spotlight video. It automatically starts playing. That's his like about Greg and how he got here. So it'd be really good for you to do a strong about me type video so people can get to know who you are. And it also showcases all of your history. That would be your spotlight video. And then by default, you'll start building content. Right now, you don't have anything on there, but you'll have videos on there. If we do some of what we're about to talk about, that'll be like a specialty playlist, like for the Ask Troy and stuff.
Yeah.
So
But your about me should really be a lot like mine. So if you go to on YouTube, just look up Greg Luther coaching, and that initial video that plays, it's like a white backdrop.
with that talk, yeah.
It's kind of like telling a story of why you're in the business. So I think I start out with, when I first got started in real estate, I didn't know it would end up this way. So kind of do a storyline of why you were always intrigued by real estate and construction and that type of thing. It's really been in your blood from day one, and show that more humanized, personalized version instead of a sales pitch. So if you do that, that's the first thing that they're naturally going to go to if they ever search you and come up on the YouTube channel. That's the auto play that starts playing, so they can get an introduction to who you are. It'd be like if you're sitting in a bar and somebody says, "Oh, you're in real estate. What inspired you to do that?" What you would say is the introduction you're given to thousands of people that are going to watch this video. That initial video would play all the time when they first go to the main page. But then, of course, when you're doing a QR code or some kind of marketing piece or whatever, that goes directly to the other videos at the bottom. But then you would kind of get into the catalog and the channels. And
Yeah, so you have the spotlight video, and then you're gonna have your main, videos. So as you're putting out this content, those will go on your page. But then when you do like your letters, now when you do that unlisted YouTube video, where before you're like, oh, they think I'm a knucklehead because they go to my one video, and then when they go to check, I have nothing. Now you're gonna have a whole library of stuff. So when you do those unlisted, like Greg was saying with the QR codes, and then you're sending them back, they're gonna go to that video. But when they try to dive deeper and find you, they're gonna see all of your other real stuff. Okay. I know you said you needed to look into your Google Ads, that you thought you had Google Ads running.
I can, but
You mentioned something like earlier, something with Google Ads. So we would want to, you don't need to bring it up now, but Google Ads relates to once you have stuff on your Facebook, you could start showcasing that with your Google Ads as well.
okay.
So that would be something to consider there.
And we'll want to look at budget on those too. So once we get the systems working right, your YouTube channel's viable, your Facebook page is working the right way, Google Ads are doing the same thing. And then we know what the customer journey looks like. So if they're interested in this, it is a PDF, totally downloadable, whether they're on their phone or their laptop or their desktop or whatever, everything's working correctly. You want to kind of follow that path. Because right now, if you had me look at that ad and click on Canva, it would say broken. Link is broken. Like there's no way, or download Canva.
Okay.
So it doesn't really give them the tools they want, and that's an immediate stop. They just bounce out of there and go. No.
Abandon it.
Yeah, so you don't want to put any ad spend behind it unless everybody that's interested can actually get access. So we would want to, anything you're doing marketing on, take that customer journey and see if there's any friction anywhere. Where can we lubricate that a little bit? Because this is hard to download, or you got to do 3 clicks instead of 1 click to get there. How can we make it flow really, really easily so that they get what they want? But I think that ultimately leading it all back to learning a little bit about you and the transformation you can create is going to be the goal here.
Okay.
So YouTube, it's just going to be fix this, what I call the skin. How does it look on the outside? Fix the header, the title. It needs to say something about your area of Michigan so they know where you're working. Make sure that looks right. So when they land there, they can clearly see this is an agent that works in this area. But then we have those kind of sub chapters underneath that show information for baby boomers, if you're thinking of downsizing, if it's a probate situation, whatever, we can have all of those details in there. You could even have one that's like just for fun, and it would show you in a dump truck, or you working with a client that, we moved these trees or whatever it is, so they can see kind of the entertainment side too of you're a real live human, not just a salesperson. Those would all be helpful. And you may do a Hey Troy series.
Okay.
So there's literally a chapter called Hey Troy, and it's got, it ends up being 25 videos that over time you're building for each time you're putting something together, including the auction you have coming up and things like that. Those are all kind of fun videos you can do, but there's something educational about it.
Okay.
So that gives such a great landing page. And then again, when somebody's Googling you, they see the marketing, they've heard of you, whatever. When they're checking you out, your stuff shows up. It's not going up to a mortgage company or to someone else using your name.
Right.
It comes up to you personally. So that'll be big. How about for Facebook?
So Facebook, when I was looking at some of your stuff, you're doing general posts on your page, which is great because just like we post. But if you go to your page, you'll notice that some of your posts, like this is featured, so that's fine. But this was posted a day ago, and this is a review. When you click more, that one was good. But there was one that I noticed. Here's your baby boomer. So this you're running as a general post.
Okay.
So you're giving away like the milk without them having buy the cow. And what I mean by that is you're giving them the link to the report, which this is the Canva link, which we don't want to do. We talked about how you're going to turn that into a PDF, but you're just doing a general post, and then they're getting this. but you're not capturing any information. So you have no concept of who did that to follow up to be able to try to convert them into a deal later. And especially this is the niche that you want to focus on for the baby boomers. So this is running as you had an ad with it, but then you're already putting it on your page publicly. So there's no reason for them to give information.
Okay.
So you have to gatekeep this a little bit and put it behind the wall. So that's where posts are great. You want to do daily posts, intriguing information about the area, the real estate market, what's update, the fun stuff too. Show them the different things. But any of your opt-in items where they're opting in for a report or opting in for a consultation or opting in for a no obligation home value, whatever those are, you need to gatekeep. So we need to take this and use it as an ad, but not just publicly put your goods out there.
Okay.
This one, that one didn't have a link. So like these are all good posts. You just want to make sure that you're not putting like, here's another one, 5 reasons to sell. Thinking about downsizing, these are 5 powerful reasons. That's an ad, not a post.
Okay.
You could still put thinking about downsizing, powerful reasons, like, ask me more, send me a message, and you could do that as a post. But let's turn, again, this is a item that should require them to give you something so that they get something.
Okay.
So we just want to make sure that I know you have a media person that they're not giving out the goods without you getting any sort of contact. Because also what we're going to talk about is building your database, not only your sphere of influence, but then also building a database. So turning all of these into ads. And then we need to say, okay, when you download from Canva, just like you download your PDFs to get the postcards, you download that report as a PDF. And then you can load the PDF into Facebook, and this goes techie a little bit, but you can load the PDF into the ads on the thank you page. So when you've captured the information on the thank you page, they can open the PDF. But then at that point, you at least still have their name.
On the thank
Yeah.
and the only way they get is by the only way they get the information is by the thank you pages that I give them.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So that way you've captured.
And again, we'll have all this in the playbook for you, so you can even give that to her and just say, here's what we want to do. But moral of the story is like follow the journey that the customer is going to take. And anytime it looks like they would get hung up here, how do we fix this?
Yeah.
As simple as
How do we fix their journey, but also how do we fix you capturing information before you give away information?
Okay.
So, and when we do like the follow-ups, so we meet on Zoom, I can show you a little bit more. Make a note, Facebook Riches. And you're welcome to have your media person look at that. That's on our member site. Just for basic ad setup, but also they could just Google, set up YouTube, or excuse me, they could look on YouTube to set up Facebook ads, and that'll be helpful too. It's easy to do. But definitely getting that viewership on Facebook. If you have YouTube links getting posted, you could also put that YouTube link on Facebook and cross, media represent. So that way your stuff's going both. You could put the direct video on Facebook and YouTube as well. But now you're able to have both of those items growing.
Okay.
So then a way to look at it is if I were an investor in your business, if I own this business and you guys were all working here, my 30,000-foot flyover today would be to come in here, land, and say, okay, so what you guys know is you need to put a lot of content out there for baby boomers, run a whole bunch of ads to get them, and then tell me how much it costs for each closing. Are we spending $200 in marketing to get a closing? Are we spending $400 worth of promoting all of this stuff to get someone to say yes? Then we know how we can scale up the business as big as we want. So if we want 5 closings a month, if we want 4 closings a month, whatever that number is, now the ad spend is being held accountable. It's not just willy-nilly.
Like me.
Yeah,
that's me. Like
what folks do is throw enough spaghetti at the wall, something's going to stick.
Something's gonna stick, and then you make money, and you're like, good, it's fine.
It's work. But it's
So
that's not.
Right.
we always care about the CAC, the cost to acquire a client. And if we know what that is, or cost to acquire a closing, if we know what that exact number is, now we can hold those dollars accountable. If we're getting it at $600 a closing here, but this thing over here, we've already spent $900 and still haven't got a closing, we'll kill it or fix it or
Right.
kill it, and scale this up as much as you can. So we can get measurable, hardcore numbers and know what's working for the business to get new people to follow you, new people that like you. But what you'll find is as you're creating this content, even when you see people in real life around town, they'll say, oh man, I watched all your videos. That one you did about this was awesome. I've got that myself. Like even in the racehorse business, I'll have people watching my real estate stuff. And they'll say, you did that one video that applies to my business. And I run an attorney's office or I run whatever. So, it's going to permeate to an awful lot of people, and you get that even bigger fame that you're looking for, that the credibility is there with it, and they want to work with you. So, our main goal is to find out how big do we need to scale this thing to decide on cost of acquisition.
Sure.
Once we know what it costs, we can scale accordingly. Another thing we need to kind of look at is what I would generally call a reactivation campaign, but it's almost a creation for you of getting everybody you know in one database. Like, how do you communicate with whether you sent one text to everybody, or you send one email to everybody, or you send one newsletter to everybody? They should see a little bit about your business, but also your personal life, what you've got going on, transitions you're going through, good times, bad times, excited to be on vacation, excited you helped this customer out in a certain way, anything like that for them to feel like they're part of the family. That they look at you as a close friend, and they know that, you're truly there to have their back. So that reactivation campaign is really just about get every contact that you have into one spot. You probably got a lot of them in your phone. You probably got very few in email, but whatever contact info you have for them, can we cross-reference that? Can we skip trace it? If you've only got their phone number, can we get their email? If you've only got their email, can we get their address, for mailing purposes? But try and get everybody into one spot and know that is like if you were selling your real estate business, that's the book of business you would turn over to somebody. So that's where the real value is this is my database.
Okay.
Even if you start that process, I'm just putting it all on a spreadsheet, so
Google Doc.
yeah, a Google
spreadsheet.
Or a yellow piece of paper. I mean, I usually a lot by print too.
Sure.
So
But if you start doing it on a Google sheet or a spreadsheet later, name, email, phone, address, a little note about where they came from, were they a buyer, were they a seller, how many years, like as much as you can remember, but get them all in there. And then later, when we go into a CRM conversation, you can also upload those into different databases. And then now we actually have an audience versus, right now there's no compiled list.
the best way to look at it is if you, not that you're ever going to do this, but if you switch brokerages tomorrow, how do you tell everybody? Man, I got him in my phone. I just see this guy sometimes in town. I got some emails. I got a few mailing addresses. You got to be able to just send it, so we need all of it in one spot. And then with whatever CRM you choose, and we don't recommend a CRM. They're all horrible in their own way. Every single one is horrible in some way. But even if you just have a place that you have whatever you have available for that client with name, phone number, email, and address. Some of them you only have a little bit, some you'll have all of it, whatever. But now, if you want to send a mailer, pull all the addresses that love you. If you want to send a text message, pull all the addresses of the people that are following your stuff and they love your stuff. If you want to send a link to a YouTube video you guys did a video, you put it all together, you had a little B-roll in there, and it really looks good, let's send that to our list. They're going to get a lot of value out of that. You can email a link directly to that list and all of your people see it. So it's almost like taking them to lunch, like you're getting some time with them. You're showing it, you're spending quality time with them with helpful stuff.
The other thing too is there's always going to be more money in your list. So if you've been doing this for 30 years, can you imagine if every contact, every lead, every person along the way, how many life changes and times of life would they switch homes in the 30 years? So how many more deals could have you gotten from one client that
Some
may
on their sixth husband.
yeah, it's 40 years ago. Yeah. So by doing that, that makes it a clean spot. And then also when you're starting to do those Facebook ads and everything else, you can download those spreadsheets of leads. So as they're opting in, if you're not automatically hooked up to a CRM and any crazy tech, you can go in there once a week and download that spreadsheet and then add that into your database, like move it over to your main document. So that way now, again, you have everybody in one spot.
Very good. I think that, as you get that, what I would generally call a reactivation campaign, but again, it's really just creating a database at this point, that gives you the chance to feel like you're actually making an impact when you do a newsletter. So put the newsletter together, whether you use the one we provide for Inner Circle coaching members, you use your own, or you even just create a one-page about Troy, or where's Troy today, or whatever. Put a couple of paragraphs in there about what's going on. Here's business, here's personal, here's whatever, life advice. You can do all of that. And that's going to make it real easy to once a month get that out to those people, but it's helpful and entertaining. It's not salesy. You don't want to feel like I'm spamming these people, so it's good stuff and they're happy to hear from you.
And you're already familiar with Canva because you do all of our postcards. So we make the newsletter that we provide to you in Canva. Have you looked at that before?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, we give you 2 articles already written that everybody could do. There's page 3. You just add your little bit. We put like a word search in there, a couple spots that you'll change. I have a video on that page that you can watch how to make edits. But I mean, it's very easy to do. And then that gives you just another leg up, especially you. You have a ton of contacts in this area. So that last page has your preferred vendors. Those are the people that you're building that trust with, and everybody you represent. That's your dream team. Yeah.
Yep.
So
A landscaper guy, an attorney, a construction company, security company, whatever,
Right.
clear down to somebody that owns a restaurant. So those all of that is going to just allow you to feed what you've built over this time. Like those relationships you have, it's actually feeding them. It's not tapping into them. You're not asking them for business or anything, but they'll feel like they're happy they read it. They'll feel like it was fulfilling to them. And then our next step would be to really identify what market we're trying to work for the boomers and seniors and empty nesters, people that are downsizing. Are we thinking 350 to 600 is their current value, or 350 and above? And that age demographic, what do you think that way?
I didn't have a price, honestly. I just had the age demographics. Oh, right. I think it's important to have age. I mean, at least have a SEV value of what their house is worth. You know what I mean, and then build off of that.
Yeah,
So anyway,
you're going to try. There's a bunch of them, so you
Right.
might as well go with the ones that are going to be best and have the most resources available to have a lot of options.
Yes,
If their home's only worth 200 and they owe 170 on it,
they help.
it's not going to be a good deal. So you might want to think about, while I'll work with anybody that needs my assistance, as long as they can do the deal,
Yep.
who's my most desirable prospect? And I would say probably 300, 350 and above.
So yeah, 300,000 at least.
So that way, when you get with your mailing list companies, you're starting to look at how am I going to buy this data or rent this data. It's not just people that were born 1964 or earlier. It's their homeowners. They've lived in the home at least 8 years. Their home value is at least 300, 325, whatever that number is. So now you can narrow that up where you're not buying a tremendously huge list that you couldn't mail to anyway. You don't want 30,000 people.
Right.
You're not
So
going
you're
to
saying 8 years plus living in.
think so. And I mean, frankly, a lot of that's tied to COVID too.
Right.
Because if they bought after COVID, they paid a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of them paid 70,000 over appraised value. I mean, so that's not really the prospect you'd be looking for in this case. That would be more the type of people if you were trying to do, assignable mortgages or something like that. But in this case, we want people that do have a lot of equity. So they've probably been there for a long, long time.
Yeah. I mean, like every neighbor here, we had 15 years or plus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, very
and
stable
yeah,
area.
yeah. So there's not a lot of moving. So you'd have to say, I think we're very 8 to 10 years. I think we're very stable on that. So
Yep. So
I think that
right,
you feel. Yeah.
and again, it's just narrowing it up as much as you possibly can, so you do have the most prime list that there is.
Okay.
If I can get a whole bunch of fish in a barrel, but I want those fish to be hungry.
Right.
Otherwise they just sit there and look at it. So we want to make sure that we've got it narrowed down as best as possible, and any criteria you can put in to get it to a reasonable number that you feel like you could manage.
Okay.
No sense in buying 20,000 if you're only going to market to 4,000.
Right.
So if that's a list of 20,000, don't take it random. Think of one other thing about that, like married or deaf in the family or last kid just went to college. The youngest child is 18 or older, something like that. Anything you can do to narrow it down to the amount of people that you're comfortable mailing and marketing to, rather than just taking a small chunk of a 25,000 number or so.
Right.
And then that too can go into a CRM, whichever one you use. I mean, for a lot of agents that I'm just getting their business built, if they're under $500,000 in revenue, sometimes just a very basic email delivery system and database would work. A MailChimp. Or, something that's very simple. And again, we don't promote any of them. We don't have affiliate deals with any. But MailChimp is just really easy to use if you don't understand technology or anything else. And it will simply hold all of their contact info and allow you to send emails and text messages to a group, and it will allow you to create a journey where you would do like email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes out on week 1, week 2, week 5, week 7. However you'd want to set it up. You can tweak that as much as you want, but it's very easy to use.
And some of the helpful reasons, like you were like, oh, does it matter if we have that? But like we released the baby boomer operating system. Well, that has an email follow-up. You're not going to want to send that out one at a time. Right. Yeah. So you'd be able to take that email follow-up and create the journey. And it says on there, this goes out day 1, then this one goes out day 3, then this one goes out. And without a system that does that, you're not going to do that manually on top of everything coming in. So that would be a helpful thing. Again, we don't promote any, they all suck in some capacity. MailChimp is the easy one, but you also are very comfortable in Gmail because that's your main. So make a note to look at the Google Workspace
Okay.
for Gmail.
That'll allow you to get Troy at troysellsmichigan.com. So whatever you decide it to be. Or your name, like I'm Greg at gregluther.com. So anybody that ever wants to email me, I just bought the domain name, gregluther.com, so I can have Greg at Greg Luther, admin at Greg Luther, assistant at Greg Luther, Tanya at Greg Luther. So you can get as many of those as you want, but it's a deliverable email address.
Okay.
If you're using Gmail, the CRMs just don't look, they were already getting blocked by a lot of the prospects out there. So many agents are like, I had a conversation going and then I just never hear back from them. Well, you're either going to spam or it's not getting delivered at all. They're just not getting your stuff because you're using a free email. So it's definitely your own fault. We just got to get a paid.
So would that work with the Google Works?
So remind me your email address again.
Troy.chorus976@gmail.
At Gmail. Okay. So Google Workspace, you would be able to do a paid business workspace. And then that's where you can then get
Buy your
you
name.
could buy your name, Troy at cordisteam.com or whatever you're going to name yourself.
So paid Workspace.
Yeah. So do a paid email and you'll do that in with.
And it's what, $20 a year?
Years. I can't remember off the top of my head for that one, but now this has some features, and the only reason I'm suggesting this for you, since you don't have any technology and you're comfortable in Gmail's platform.
I've an email.
There you go. So this is easiest for you because it feels very similar to how the Gmail inbox operates. So it's a little bit of a baby step into it. And if you look up CRMs that hook to this, there's a couple that hook right into. So just make a note, like even though we said MailChimp, just look up Google Workspace CRMs. There's other easy CRMs that integrate because they're meant to be easy. So if everybody knows how Gmail feels.
And it will connect with his old email address.
Yeah, you should be able to do like an upgrade and a forward or something, or you could take that and it will upgrade it if you go into the Google Workspace environment. Yeah. So that's a couple ways. But then now, if you own a CRM and you have stuff, we can get super techie. But if people opt in from Facebook, we can move them into that automatically once it exists. So we're just creating these buckets that they're all going to eventually work together so you have that system.
Oh, perfect.
So all of those are, obviously getting a basic CRM. I wouldn't get anything too complicated. It's, we're all old enough to remember a VCR. It would do everything in the world. We used play and rewind.
Right.
That's it. That thing flashed 12 o'clock for 10 years. So I didn't know how to set the timer, but it would record the Cosby Show at 8 p.m. if you said it that way. We just didn't use it.
Right.
Well, a CRM's the same way. You're going to do about 10% of what it could do.
Okay.
So don't be amazed by all that. It'll create flyers and it'll email links and it'll I want to be able to group text and group email without them seeing that it's a group. It looks like it's
Your main thing is email and text. If it could do that, or they're going to call it SMS broadcast. So email and text, those are and hold your database where you could find clients and maybe you could make a note on the client record. But people ask us like what we use. I'm like, you don't process money as a real estate. You don't do all this other stuff. So that's a complete.
Yeah.
Ours has no bearing.
But, I think the first big 3 is going to be after you get your email and you get all of that working correctly, we've got to get Facebook, YouTube, and Google working the right way because that is how you're going to get a lot more people to know who you are. That's the big key. It's not, we don't do anything really with social at all. We're advertising on social media, you never want to feel like you're a movie star, but you will run commercials on the movies they're watching. That's what Facebook is. I don't need to post anything social, but I want my commercial running while they're scrolling of their kids playing baseball. And here's what the neighbor said. And here's the spaghetti my friend ate yesterday. All this stuff that's on social. And then every 5th one is an ad. Your ad happens to be something they're interested in. So a lot of people are like, originally they were freaked out by being chased around online, but like if you click on a pair of shoes and you don't buy them everywhere you go, here's those shoes for 10% off. That's actually good because I'd rather see ads on stuff I want.
Right.
You don't need to see stuff on adult diapers. You don't need to see stuff
Not
on,
yet.
yeah, now yeah, eventually that algorithm changes on you, but that's the thing is what we're doing is not really social. You can still be a fairly private person if you want, but you're running ads on their social, whatever they're consuming.
Okay.
And that's how we look at Facebook as well as YouTube. I mean, that demographic you're working, like I say, they figured out how to put YouTube on their home television so they can watch what they want. And they're watching videos and, how do I do this? How do I do that? And they're just watching on YouTube on television. So, you get them following when they're watching this video. Here's all the recommendations down the side, and you become all the recommendations, because they've seen some of your other stuff.
Okay.
So I would definitely get Facebook, YouTube, and Google
Figure it out.
working correctly and follow that journey. So then you can track how much does it cost to acquire a client.
Yep.
We can peg that number on.
And then we can
cost-
scale to where they want to.
Exactly. You can go bigger or smaller.
And you having the map of those areas too, like once you have Facebook working correctly and you're targeting correctly, you can drop a pin and say, okay, I want to target. Now they pull it back. You can't do age anymore or income, but you could at least do the area, drop a pin where it was like they were moving from one to the other once you identify all those migration patterns.
Yeah.
Where they're moving from one part of the state and they're downgrading, you can drop a pin and your ads can be serving in front of them that way. And then you could put other targets for the senior age. So even though we can't put age or their income or what they're doing, you could put AARP, you could put early bird specials. Like there's all these keywords that come up that would target them naturally. You could also put like Zillow, Trulia, like all of those other real estate companies. You could put mortgage calculator. Now they're probably not going to need a mortgage, but there's other real estate type terms that you can use for targeting so that it brings that audience as narrow as you can.
Okay.
Next on the list we have is actually acquiring testimonials from all these great people that have loved you over the years.
Mayor's job.
Yeah, we can get on print. We can get a quick 15-second clip on FaceTime
Right.
or YouTube or a Zoom link. Hey, can you jump on Zoom with me real quick? I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about what you thought of what we did for you. Was there anything unique you remember? Did I go above and beyond on anything? And then you can splice that and edit it and make it as short as you need. Take out your own questions or whatever. But get some content like that. The very best place to get testimonials is at the closing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when they're at their absolute peak. And it's important because you don't want to go 3 days later. That's when they're moving.
Yep.
They're so busy, they can't check their email. They can't, check their voicemail. So, you just take your phone and, hey, I know you guys are busy. Can we do a testimonial real quick? And congratulations. What do you guys think? You can do your own selfie style video and just get what they say. And then keep in mind, you don't have to use that video. You can take what they said, write it, and then put dash Joe Johnson said, and you can use that in print. So there's a lot of ways to repurpose that, whether it's audio, video, print. I've done an ad that says what a standing ovation looks like on paper, and it's just got tons of testimonials from all of these people.
Oh, wow.
So just plastered with testimonials. And what I try to do is like, here's one that expired and I sold it quickly. Here's one that was a FISBO and they listed with me. Here was a divorce. Here was a move up. Here was a retiree. Here's a relocation. So all of those different things, try and have one testimonial where they're like, oh, that one's like me. And then they feel like you're qualified to work with them,
Okay.
So that's just something you do over time. You're not going to do it quickly, but get as many as you can right now. And then just make that habit that in your closing checklist, going to a closing today, I got to do this and this and this. We got to give them the keys. We got to give them a copy of their closing statements, but we also got to get a testimonial. And what I've done a lot of times is like, if you ask them, hey, can you guys write down a few things about, a testimonial for me? They'll say, Troy was amazing and he always answered our calls and we highly recommend him. So it's important to make sure that when you're getting a testimonial, you don't ask them to write the testimonial because it'll say, you're amazing, you're great, and they highly recommend you. If you know that you just sold their home at 99.8% of asking price within 3 days and it had 5 offers, like that's a meaty testimonial.
Right.
So what I usually do is I'd say, hey, I know you guys have been busy getting ready for the move and stuff, so I just took the liberty of writing down, what I felt happened in there. If you agree with this, you could just sign it. If you want to add something, delete something, they'll read it and they're like, oh my gosh, that's great. And they just sign them. So it's kind of a pre-written, it's all based on facts, but it's pre-written. Sometimes they'll want to add more, or they'll add he always answered my questions and we were nervous and he made us feel better about it. They'll add a lot of stuff, but I think having that extra meat in there, they don't realize it was 99.8% of asking price in 5 days,
Right.
you know?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so I would get that, and that's the very best time to get it. And over time, you'll realize that you've really got a ton of them together. You could do a reel of just testimonial after testimonial after testimonial. Here's what our clients have to say. And you've seen that with other industries. They do the same thing.
And even if they're not comfortable on video, if you do the
That's what I'm
if
saying.
you do the written one and you're like he said, this is just a little bit about our experience together. Will you review that? Let me know what you think. If you want to add to it, very rarely has anyone been like, this is all wrong. Like you're not going to cross it out because they're at the closing table.
And if they do say they're uncomfortable with video, give them that, and then just say, by the way, can we take a picture?
Picture. That's what I was going to say. Just take a picture, and now you have a picture-monial. So now let's turn the picture paired with the written version. That could all be showcased together too. So that way, take out the video.
If they're scratching your letter, if they're scratching that out, you shouldn't be at that closing.
Sure.
But
You should have missed that one.
They don't agree with how good you thought you were.
That's right. You should. Yeah, you should never showed up.
Yeah. So I would do that. I think another thing to think about is, what are you going to do for monthly contacts to that boomer list? Am I going to do more so than newsletter? Will I have some sort of piece that I send out, a video that goes, once you get YouTube going, one thing that YouTube loves to see, the algorithm loves, is posting the same amount of times and at the same time on the same day each week.
Oh, really?
So Tuesdays at 11, Fridays at 6, whatever it is. They like to see that consistency rather than random and sporadic. They don't want to start sending people there and nothing's fresh. So, I would do what I would start with is just one video a week.
Yep.
And just do every Tuesday we have a new video that we release.
That's why you do it Tuesday at 11, right?
Yep.
that's our morning meeting. So that's our live. So that's a definite consistent.
Yep.
Then that's what keeps
A
it.
set time all the time, and then we post every day. Typically, we're like late morning, and
We have
that's
something, yeah. And by the way, when I post, I have Max on our team, and he just takes some of our random content that we've created. It might be from an inner circle call, it might be from the coaching retreat. He'll take a little 2-minute or 3 minutes and put a headline with it and all that, and just put it out there. So it's just basically creating shorts
Okay.
that are going to
On the
go out.
backside.
Yep. But I would just get to where you're doing one a week and it's consistent first. So as you can see, we're putting together a huge playbook for Troy, and this is really going to make a meaningful impact for him. Frankly, it should make a meaningful impact for you as well. You can download that very same playbook for free and utilize it yourself. Now, the key is I want to give Troy a little bit of accountability. That's one thing to have all these great things you could do, but are you actually going to put them in place? One thing that's missing for an awful lot of real estate agents is having the accountability they need. So what I want to do is kind of get into that topic right now and make sure that he's going to implement all of these things inside this great playbook. One thing which I have next on the list here is a job description for your media lady. Whether she becomes an assistant for you or you get one, or you can have Meredith hold you accountable to this or whatever. I think you'll do what you need to do to be successful, but you need somebody to tell you this has to be done today. Like me, I can do video all day long, but I'm never going to do video unless she's like, we have to get this done today. Here's the topic. Here's what you're going to do. Go. And just start recording. I think if you have, whether it's the media person or her or whatever, like, we got to release this thing on Monday, so we need to have it by Thursday so we can pretty it up, put a thumbnail on there, make it look nice. Somebody has to hold you accountable to that, because otherwise you're going to be busy doing all the things you do. And again, you don't have time to slow down to do something like that. That seems like it's unimportant because I got 3 people that want to talk to me. So you've got to have, you guys have seen on the coaching website on Inner Circle, the calendar training, how to use a marketing calendar. And that's just game changer for everybody. I think you watched that, Meredith. What did you think about that?
Oh, I loved it. And that's more of the nerd side. So anything under Content Corner on our member site is typically me going into the structure, the organization, the how to plan, how to, outline everything. So having that marketing calendar where you are like my brain more,
Right.
you can get that organized and say, okay, on Mondays, we're going to record a video so that we can edit and post that every Thursday. Monday nights, you're going to write your letters. Tuesday, they're going to go in the mail. Now let's check our Facebook ads on Tuesday during the day. So if you just have bite-sized things and you follow in that video, you did a bunch of stuff. You just focus on what we're talking about and then organize it so that way it's not overwhelming. It's not 400 things in a day.
Right.
And then keeps you on task. You don't feel like the overwhelm and it just all gets done.
Because I like doing 400 things at once per side.
Do they all get finished?
No, we get them rolling.
She said, no, they don't. They're rolling.
Projects at once, they will eventually.
So yeah, so you have the
Yeah, I do go through and then I like made a list of the things that I thought we would put on the calendar. Yep. I went off of what you had in your
training. Yeah.
helpful. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, of all the inner circle coaching members we have, those that are organized enough to first create the agenda, but then the most important thing, implement the agenda, follow through with it. They are the ones that make the money. I mean, if you do the actions, you get the money. But thinking about it, trying to learn more, that's never going to get you there. You got to learn, and then the L becomes silent. But it comes down to implementation. So the goal is to be working this list, and the ads that you're running consistently to, in this case, the niche that you're working, boomers, seniors, whatever the case is, how do we keep building that list? Like, you could measure it daily. We had 735, and today we got 737. We did something right. And just every day that list should be building, not shrinking. Now, you will have some fall off. You will have attrition. Somebody unsubscribes.
Yep.
You said something about a president or about a different Democratic Party or whatever,
Aggravated someone.
and which that's fine,
Absolutely.
but we want more coming in than we have going out. Because keep in mind, anybody that unsubscribes, that means they weren't going to work with you. So
Right.
good. See ya. Let's keep talking to the people that are. But I want that number to keep growing, and then you just work that list every month. It's giving them really good content, helpful stuff. You should get a heck of a lot more positive comments than you do negative. It should be 9-1. Like, thank you so much for that. That was helpful. What do you think about this? I was considering this. You should get a lot of positive comments where they're just so grateful that you're doing that for them. And you've got the knowledge base to do that.
And is that through the YouTube or is that through Facebook? I mean, how the hell are they responding back to you? Is that
They'll interact on both. So both have the ability, they could post comments and, and then you could reply. The other things the algorithms love, if somebody comments, even if you like it or hit the heart button or love it, that you like their comment because they're showing you are talking back to them too. So
You've probably seen on TikTok that some people that are really drawing, they're actually, the creator is commenting to the comments that came to them. That's because it's creating interaction. Instead of a monologue, it's a dialogue, and they want to see those communications going.
So like on Facebook, when he does his regular posts where it's like a color background and he puts a quip about real estate or he says something or he does a rant and then people start commenting or he'll provoke conversation. Oh, the NAR just said,
Start a fight.
yeah, we start a fight. Like NAR just said this. This is what I believe. What do you guys think? Ready? Tell me below. And so we'll provoke and you'll see he responds to comments all throughout the way because that's also telling Facebook like, oh, hey, like he replies.
Okay.
YouTube is a little bit different. People are commenting on their videos and I keep an eye on those. So I'll sometimes go in and I know you hit sometimes I'll comment back or I'll answer their question.
And you can hide it or delete
Yeah.
it if it's.
And if you do get a troll or you get somebody, you can block them, you can kick them out. But as far as what Greg was saying about your media lady, like, I don't know if she has her own company and you're just a client of hers, or if she's the type that could actually say, hey, like, what all would you do right now? You just post for me. Could you post my YouTube videos? Could you manage comments? Could you do this and do it all on behalf of me? And you're not touching it. So that's why when you made the face like, oh my God, you want me to answer comments? Like, no. But what can this person do? And if she's not the right person, could there be a person for that?
Yeah, I mean, I see people doing that. I just giggle, but I get what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to do.
It's for the greater good.
Yeah.
And it's business stuff. It's not, you're not commenting on like the spaghetti and meatballs picture. Oh, this looks delicious. That means nothing,
Yeah. Another thing you've got to do is, again, fixing that Google search where when people do check you out, they find everything. YouTube should show up, Facebook should show up, but you got to do a press release. We have a template on the members website. I'll actually put, we'll try and remember in your playbook, I'll put a press release template in there that you can just change your area and your name and everything else about real estate, where when people Google you, it's going to come up on 150 different websites. It'll say like foxnews.com/Michigan Realtor sells homes for more. And it'll have this great article about you. So when somebody Googles your name or realtor in this county or this city, it's going to come up as an article that was written about you from an independent third party. So there's some really simple systems you can use. prlog.org
Yeah.
is one, like press release, prlog.org. For 20, you can do the free version, but for $20 or for $30, you can get that in front of, 200 different websites. So now when they Google you, they're like, look at all these articles where they've done an interview of you, or they've quoted you, or something about what it is that you do. Lifelong realtor.
So it's beyond
quality.
PR, like press release, prlog.org.
Yeah.
And you're putting out about yourself. So a lot of people have a misconception that some great radio station or news outlet has to come find us, interview us, and put out a press release. No, I could put out a press release that I'm the greatest mother of all time and, this CEO for this and blah, 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 and put it out. And then all those stations pick it up. And so when you Google, you'll be maybe page 2, and little by little, as you put one press release out, start maybe once a month, then twice a month, little by little, your Google ranking naturally goes up, and you're organically found like page 1 at the top of the list. So you could put that out doing your silent auctions, doing the helping baby boomers downsize, doing the different things that we talked about. All of that video content stuff can be written up in a press release. Just did another silent auction, blah, blah, blah. Love to help baby boomers. So all the stuff you love, put that as your passions into the written word, and then that goes out that way.
And every time you go in, you put it in this.
Yeah,
you
so
put
that's the mechanism of release. So
That's
you
the
load
one
it up.
Publishes it every
Yep.
quarter.
So you want to do that one every time. So you want to put it in.
Yeah, your cadence would be about once a month or every 2 months. For all of our inner circle members, we recommend once a month because it keeps it fresh. It's only going to stay out there for about 90 days. So we want to have something new that's going out there. And your cadence you should try for about once a month. I think we have 3 templates on the member site under resources.
Under resources, press releases. Yeah.
So, and that's where, every time I interview somebody with inner circle, and we Google them, I see stuff. Sometimes it does stay on there longer. Like we got an agent in Palm Beach. She still got her article on there from 11 years ago, 12 years ago.
15, I think. What do you
Yeah.
see?
And it's still coming up as the top luxury agent in the area. We did one article for, and I paid the $99 version. And it's still coming up. If you look up Palm Beach luxury realtor or whatever the terms are,
Yeah.
it's all coming up with her and that article on her.
That's also because she puts the link to that press release in her signature. So it's in her email signature on her website. She has on her testimonials and reviews, she has everything, and then press releases. So now
She'll be
in her signature,
clicking
people are clicking it
tells
and then
you-
re-spins it to the top of Google. So once you have your YouTube fixed and your Facebook fixed, you could put those links so that people can just click and it's right in your email signature. You don't have to tons of googly bop because you don't want your signature crazy, but put it down the page a little bit. Hey, follow me on some of the channels. I put out helpful content about buying and selling in the area, and it gives them an option to click and then they go to it. So yeah. And the press release, if you did an online one and you have your database, you could say, hey, I just hit the news. Come check out my latest press release. A 2-sentence email with the link to the press release to your database. And now how many people went and clicked that and help you?
Okay.
Yeah, because keep in mind, it's a kind of an archaic way of doing it, but you can suppress things you don't want on Google, and you can lift the things you do want. So if you do that press release and then you just type in your name or local realtor or whatever, it's probably going to be on about page 3. But if you do it from your phone, you go to page 3 and you click it, and then you type in your name again from your computer and you go to page 3 and you click it. When you go to her phone,
Nice.
it's already on page 2. And you click it from that different device, and now it's on page 1 because they're not clicking all those other things with your name that much.
Sorry.
So Google's like, man, every time somebody Googles this name, they're wanting this article. Let's move it to the top. It's becoming more relevant.
Yeah.
So you can just go in and find it on page 2 or page 3, and with 3 or 4 different devices clicking it, it becomes the number 1.
So your kids all
Yeah.
get,
Yeah. So, and you can't do it the same time, same thing over and over from the same phone. But if you use multiple devices, Google's thinking, man, all these IP addresses, every time they search for Troy, they want this article. Let's bring that to the top because it's the most relevant. And that's automatically pushing down the other things, which is like Zillow, Realtor.com, people stealing your leads.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, as you get all this together, then you look at your marketing calendar and you say, okay, this week, I got to do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday. It's very organized. And you can really create an entire month where it's bite-sized chunks. It takes less than an hour a day. You're not going to feel like it's overwhelmed.
Right.
But it's, Zig Ziglar, if you remember Zig Ziglar going around, he always carried that pump, that big, heavy pump. He put it on the airplane and everything so he could take it and he could say, you got to really pump on it at first to get the water going. But once the water goes, you just occasionally hit it and the water keeps coming. It's siphoning. And that's what you're doing with your business. You got to work hard at first to get the water flowing. But then once you get it going, you just stay after it a little bit every day, 30 minutes, 60 minutes of prospect. And that prospecting is what creates the consistent deal flow.
Okay.
Do you
So-
do a power hour or anything at the start of the day? Like you've heard us talk about power hour. Yeah. So this is a really good time of day to look at that marketing calendar and be like, okay, this is what I have to accomplish today. Then you have your time block for the marketing. And then all of your appointments should never happen in power hour and your marketing times. And then before you go to bed at night, okay, what do I have coming up? Okay. And we reassess. And then it's like clockwork, it's just everything's scheduled and you stay on task a lot easier than just waking up with what am I doing today?
All right, get a random thing.
Yeah. So all of those combined are how you create a new blueprint for yourself to hit the numbers you want to hit. I mean, I really think the one individual niche will get you far above the original goal we talked about here, but I think for you guys, if, getting both of you working on it full time and feeling confident with where you're at and where you're going, I think if you get to 350 a year or so, that you're going to feel pretty comfortable with that, hey, this is working and we can keep growing from there. And then it's just going to be stepping stones.
Right.
A lot of the agents that have been successful with me, they were in inner circle for a while. They got, consistent closings happening, but then they got to where they had a little money and then they have the glass ceiling. This is as much as I can do because I got these little side hobbies I'm doing over here. Well, if we can bust through that, then they get a little better. Then they can hire someone on to help them. But I think that would be the big concern, as we started with earlier, is I don't want you to build a big monster that's bringing in 600 grand a year. And then you start to get this thing in your head. I want to go to my daughter's for 2 weeks, but it's going to cost us like 30 grand in lost revenue.
Right.
Because you know how it is. If somebody calls, you want to get that money. So you got to get to where you've got someone that you can trust, the send and delete type person that you can hand it to them and they'll handle everything for that short period of time you're gone, because you're still available by phone.
Right.
You can still work and do all that. You just don't have boots on the ground. We need to go to an inspection, a closing, whatever the case is.
Right.
So, I think once you get probably over 300,000 a year, you'll feel comfortable paying someone 50 to 70 or whatever the case is, to handle things when needed.
Right.
And that'll be the person that is really the marketing director. So they do the posts every day. You won't need the current, the subcontractor you have. They can do the posts. They can create all of the ads that you're trying to create. They can kind of script out what your videos should look like, get on our coaching calls with Greg Luther Inner Circle, see what other competition's doing in the area, and really just create a campaign that keeps you on track. So when you show up, they can say, here's the 4 things you have to do, and then the rest is play day.
Okay.
And as far as what we'll give you, we'll give you more of a checklist. Everything that we rattled off, we'll just dive a little deeper. We'll make sure we get you the video outlines for some of the content creation. But we'll put together some titles and some bullets so that you can do that. I might just have us do a outro commercial for him. Have him do our outro script, and we'll just do the B-roll.
Yep.
That way you can have that tacked on to any of the videos. So I'll send you that. You just send me a voice recording and we'll create a little something. That way you can, whoever's doing your editing, now you have a custom outro on the end.
We've got some scripts for some Inner Circle members that are like, if you've seen the end of my videos where it's like, hey, I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe right here and you'll get notifications every time I have a new video. So if you record that audio, just your voice on the phone or whatever, we can put B-roll footage of drones of this area or of Michigan or whatever, and then you just tack that on the end of all of your videos. So your video plays, and right when you're done, there's Troy that says, hey, I hope you like this video. Make sure you like and subscribe here, and you do. So we can do that outro video for you. We'll just give it to you, and you can use it on.
So to answer that question back on the media person, I think there'd be a point in time that she would be able to be hired.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think at one time, you know what I mean? She's young, 23-year-old girl. No, she's a young person.
Is she in Michigan?
She is.
Okay, I thought
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as the qualifications are there and the ambitions there
She's
that
a
they
doer.
want to do.
She's a dude. I was talking if I want this changed, and she sends it to me as I'm talking to her.
Okay.
So she's up. She gets things done.
Yeah.
She does like postings for other companies across the country,
Okay.
and she's got to do like 300
You-
or whatever, and she has it done first week. They get mad at her because she gets it done
Yeah.
too early. You get what I'm saying? So she's a doer. So that's what I don't know.
Kind of like.
Well, if she works if she has that many clients, like if she knows that she's going to do that, she's probably scheduling them. So they're just rolling out. She's not sitting there physically posting Monday, Tuesday, which she could schedule them,
Yeah.
which you can do for a lot of things. You could schedule certain things on YouTube. Ads obviously are a set and let it be type thing. So depending on her availability to ramp that up and just ask like what all is your specialty when it comes to social media, marketing technology, what systems do you know? What are your comfort levels? What aren't your comfort levels? And isolate that down. And then that way, you know what's puntable to her or if she's worth trying to bring on
Do it.
or where are the gaps that you need to figure something
And
out.
then send me an email asking those questions. What for? I just said things.
Yes.
Yeah, I still didn't remember what you just told me.
Still got the pen right.
I'm like, you want to run over there? We'll go and put some grade on that elevation over there. Or dogs are
Forget about filling dirt holes.
I mean, we can run a 400-foot pipe here in about an hour and a half.
All right. Yeah.
So there we go. I think that's a very good start for you. And most importantly, will help you to hit the numbers quickly so you can
Yeah.
both be full time and loving what you're doing and,
All right.
enjoying the business that way.
Very good.
All right, guys.
I really feel like my aha moment of the day was truly grasping a system for our real estate business and just making it more streamlined so that we can be more effective hourly on a daily basis.
Some of my key takeaways with the business is Facebook, YouTube, and Google. So as you know, you don't know, but as I know, I'm not really good with that kind of stuff. So we're looking to fine tune, and with the Greg Luther's team to help me, I'm excited about it.
Any agents watching this, I cannot stress enough how imperative it is to have a system to follow. If you are out there, you need a coach. You need a coach who's good at coaching, who's not just good at taking your money every month. I highly recommend that you try out Greg Luther because his website is incredible and the amount of resources that he has available to you are guaranteed to have some type of positive impact on your business. It just depends on how much you want to use them. The strength of that impact it has on your business.
If you're a real estate agent and you are watching this video, most important thing is to get a coach. Because if you don't have a coach, you don't know which way to go. And if you don't know which way to go, then you're lost. And that coach is going to probably help you get a calendar. And he's going to help you stay with the calendar and you become accountable to a mentor. So I will highly recommend Greg Luther. He's fantastic. It was great. It was a pleasure working with him. I'm really excited about the future. And like I said, get a coach. Greg Luther is his name.
So Troy now has a specific playbook to really surpass all of the goals that he had. If he puts all of these things in place, he's going to sell a lot more houses. And just like everybody that I do consulting with and all of the agents involved with Greg Luther Inner Circle, when we coach you on what to do, it now becomes your responsibility to put it in place and start making the money that you deserve. Now, again, you can download this playbook here and utilize this yourself. For an awful lot of agents that are involved in our inner circle coaching, we have a menu, all kinds of things you can do that are very simple to implement, but create a major, major impact for your real estate business. So you'll want to check that out as well if you're not an Inner Circle coaching member. But I want you to follow along as you see what happens with Troy and how he grows his business. Download your playbook, and we'll see you in the next episode.